Chapter 1819. Ling Xiao looked at the Lei Tun that Lu Lian mentioned. Lei Tun's body was almost like a ball. His body shape was even a little funny, but no one dared to laugh at him. This guy looked simple and honest, but his body contained an incomparably terrifying power. Lei Tun is said to be able to swallow everything, including martial artists. He's definitely a big eater. Ji Luoyu continued. The one in the middle is the heavenly thunder tiger, Lei Lai. This person's inner strength is filled with the power of thunder and lightning. He possesses the most terrifying power of thunder and lightning in the white tiger bloodline. That bolt of lightning that almost tore the sky apart was released by him. The skinny guy on the far left looks very thin, but he's extremely strong. He's the violent tiger, Lei Mang. He's tall and thin, and he's good at using a huge divine hammer. Those who died in his hands were all turned into meat paste. The three brothers from the White Tiger Empire sure came quickly. Greetings, little sister. At this moment, the sky was filled with fragrance. Everyone looked up and saw a huge nine-tailed fox flying over. On the fox sat a group of martial artists. Most of them were women. The person who spoke was a seductive woman. She had 9 beautiful white tails behind her. Her furry ears were also very interesting. Before the huge 9-tailed fox landed, the woman floated down. Her body was as light as a flower. At that moment, it caused countless men to cry out in excitement. This woman is indeed more beautiful than Sun Lingchan and Muan Shuang. Her strength is definitely not ordinary. Ling Xiao sighed inwardly. Prince Sirius and Xiao Budian were right. This woman should be the legendary 9-tailed fox, Fairy Qingqiu. Sister, why are you in such a hurry? Could it be that one of them is your little lover? Another voice came from the huge 9-tailed fox. Then a ball of fire flew down. It was as if there was an additional red sun in the sky. The blazing light illuminated the entire land. Only those with high cultivation could ignore the glaring light and see the person's true appearance. It turned out to be a seductive woman. She was dressed in red and had the same furry ears. She also had 9 tails behind her. In the Silver Fox Empire, 9 tails were the symbol of the most talented martial artists. In that case, there was no need to ask. This woman should be the Crimson Fire Fox, Green Hill Lihua. Little sister, you're right. I've always been very interested in the brothers of the White Tiger Empire. It's a pity that they look down on us. As she spoke, Fairy Qingqiu had already landed on the ground. Just by standing there, she was able to mesmerize countless warriors. This woman was truly terrifying. Little sister, I feel that the heavenly wolf young master of the Yulang Empire is quite interesting. The Crimson Fire Fox Qingqiu Lihua also landed beside Fairy Qingqiu. Green Hill Lihua, don't talk nonsense. The Heavenly Wolf Prince and Silver Wolf Princess also walked over. The Silver Wolf Princess had a gloomy look on her face. The Heavenly Wolf young master reprimanded loudly. Ayaya, I almost forgot. The Heavenly Wolf Prince and the Silver Wolf Princess are a couple. Sorry. Qingqiu Lihua smiled as he apologized, but there was no sign of apology on his face. Each and every one of them was a top-notch genius who was admired by countless people. But no matter who arrived, Tyranny Heavenly Seas didn't appear. They stayed in their cabins. It wasn't clear whether it was disdain or lack of interest. Not long after the 9-tailed Fairy Qingqiu and the Crimson Fire Fox Qingqiu Lihua landed, the giant 9-tailed fox landed as well. The air was filled with an intoxicating fragrance. The Silver Fox Empire's martial artists, whether male or female, were all beautiful and alluring. Naturally, they attracted the most attention. So far, the geniuses of the Yulang Empire, Tianhai Empire, White Tiger Empire, and Silver Fox Empire had all appeared. The only one left was the most mysterious and powerful genie school. I'm actually looking forward to Feng Fei's arrival the most. Strangers shouldn't get close to Feng Fei. He's the #1 genius of genie school. Rumors say He doesn't like strangers getting close to him. Thus, no one has seen Feng Fei's true face yet. But one thing's for sure. His strength is terrifying to the extreme. None of the young geniuses have been able to contend against him yet. Even tyranny heavenly sees is a bit lacking. But rumors are just rumors. I really want to see his true face. Some people in the crowd discussed in low voices. Strangers shouldn't get close to Feng Fei. His name resounded throughout the White Tiger continent, even more so than tyranny heavenly sees. He was probably the most likely candidate to take first place at this year's White Tiger meet. Don't forget about that 100-eyed demon Lord Wulong and that blind girl Zue Linglong. Their reputations aren't any worse than Feng Fei's. Out of the 12 top geniuses, only these 3 have not arrived yet. I'm really looking forward to it. Normally, the 12 of them would be cultivating separately, so it was rare to see them all at once. Only the White Tiger Tempest meet could gather these 12 famous geniuses. For many martial artists, the purpose of coming here was to see these top geniuses for themselves. They didn't have the ability to participate in the White Tiger meet, or even if they did, they wouldn't be able to get a good ranking. Thus, they were here to broaden their horizons. As long as these 12 could survive the 10,000 lightning desolate grounds, they would become the strongest of the White Tiger continent. They might even become the pillars of the entire profound world. Getting to know them was a great honor. Ling Xiao calmly looked at each and every one of the top geniuses who had arrived. His eyes shone with the same sharp and excited light. Geniuses? He didn't think he was any worse than these 12. It was just that he hadn't cultivated for long enough, so there was still a gap between them. To him, the White Tiger meet was a chance to make a name for himself on the White Tiger continent. If he wanted to rule the continent, he had to reach a certain level of fame. Otherwise, who would be willing to work for him? Right now, he was still a nameless nobody on the continent. He only had a bit of fame in Sky Sea City. Even though he'd killed the Full Moon Empire's bird steeds, Sir Celestial Wolf and Princess Silver Wolf didn't even spare him a glance. Why? Because he wasn't strong enough. It was that simple. Tianhai Tairu, the crown prince of Sky Sea Empire, was someone he had to trample under his feet. But this person was the peak existence of the 12. His influence spanned the entire continent. There was also Feng Fei, the genius of Divine Phoenix Empire's Fire Phoenix clan. He hadn't returned to the continent after joining the Genie School, but he, Ling Xiao, had destroyed Divine Phoenix Empire. Feng Fei wouldn't leave the matter at that. Whether it was Tianhai Tairu or Feng Fei, Ling Xiao couldn't contend against them, but they were people he had to defeat. Thus, he had to become stronger and use the White Tiger meet to turn the tables on the 10,000 lightning desolate grounds. Chapter 1820. Big Brother, what's wrong? Hong Yu asked as she looked at Ling Xiao curiously. At this moment, Ling Xiao was clenching the railing so hard that it almost broke. His face was filled with eagerness and excitement. It's nothing. I'm just excited because I saw the opponent I wanted to see, Ling Xiao said with a smile. At the same time, a young man and an old man were talking a few dozen miles away from Thunderclap City. The young man was holding a wine gourd in his hand. His stubble made him look much older. However, those who knew him knew that he was not even 30 years old. The other person was an old man. He looked weathered, but his face was filled with excitement. Elder Hong, are you really not going to see Ling Xiao? The young man was naturally Jiomajin. He was only 29 years old and was qualified to participate in the White Tiger meet. However, he had already participated when he was 19 years old 10 years ago. That was why he did not register. The old man was naturally Hong Qi. Since the White Tiger gathering was about to begin, they naturally had to come. They had to protect Ling Xiao and watch him ascend to the top of the White Tiger gathering. I'm not going to see him. I'll leave after watching the White Tiger meet. I'll settle my own matters. Ling Xiao has his own path to walk. I don't want him to worry. Hongqi smiled and said, "Moreover, my cultivation is recovering. You don't have to worry about my safety." "Forget it. If he doesn't want to see me, then so be it. I'll go greet him. I wonder how his cultivation is now. I've been to the White Tiger continent before. Yin-Yang realm experts are as common as livestock. It's not rare at all. He was only at the 3rd level of Yin-Yang realm when he came. I wonder how much he has improved. I'm really looking forward to it." Jian took a sip of wine and said with a smile, "With his talent, he should be at the 7th or 8th level of Yin-Yang realm at the very least." Hongqi thought for a while and said he had already tried his best to overestimate Ling Xiao, but he still could not imagine how terrifying Ling Xiao's progress was during this period of time. It was simply not something he could imagine. "I think so. If he doesn't reach the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm, I'll beat him up. He must be slacking off." The liquor demon laughed and soared into the sky. Hongqi also headed in the direction of the Thunder City, but not with the liquor demon's sword. He didn't plan to see Ling Xiao because he would definitely be sad if he did. There were many things that he couldn't say. At this time, there were more and more people in the Thunderclap City's central camp. A large number of warriors who had been waiting in the periphery had now rushed here. That was because this was where all the geniuses participating in the White Tiger meet stayed. Coming here, if he could not witness the elegant demeanor of the geniuses, then it would really be a huge loss. Moreover, even on the day that the White Tiger Tempest meet was about to begin, there was still a large number of cultivators rushing over from outside. In the central camp, the most dazzling ones were undoubtedly the 8 first-rate geniuses who had already arrived. The 3 from the Zhengyi school had yet to arrive. As for the Tianhai Empire's crown prince, Tianhai tyranny, he had been staying in the cabin and had not shown himself. Everyone was looking forward to the 4 of them appearing at the end so that everyone could see their true appearances. At this moment, a beautiful, huge, auspicious cloud suddenly appeared in the sky. Everyone raised their heads to look. It's the Zhengyi school's flying auspicious cloud. They're here. They really got it. Everyone watched excitedly as the auspicious cloud slowly flew over. It clearly looked slow, but in an instant, it was already above their heads. The auspicious cloud was golden yellow and looked very beautiful. Only the Zhengyi school had such a flying artifact. It was rumored that the experts of the Immortal Court continent had bestowed it to them. There was only one such artifact in the entire White Tiger continent. It didn't deliberately release any aura, but it didn't conceal its strength either. A terrifying aura came from the auspicious cloud, causing the warriors on the ground to feel immense pressure. Before the auspicious cloud landed, a person had already flown down from the sky. In the sky, there seemed to be a dragon's shadow rushing over. Everyone was horrified to find that there seemed to be many pairs of eyes in front of them. They were scared witless and felt dizzy. Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad. It seems that the famous people are worthy of their reputation. You first-grade geniuses are really much better than those trash. Amidst the laughter, a person landed on the ground. A rumbling sound suddenly came from the ground. As if to show off the strength of his body, he deliberately made a hard landing on the ground, blasting a deep hole in the ground. His body, however, was safe and sound. 100-eyed demon Lord Wulong. What a show of strength! Thunder Tiger Lai stared at the newcomer and said coldly, "Not bad, not bad. You must be Thunder Tiger Lai. Your divine light is restrained. You're indeed strong. You also have Thunder Swallowing Big Stomach Tiger and Thunder Savage Tiger. Good, very good. Since you're all here, I can also enjoy myself." 100-eyed demon Lord Wulong looked at the White Tiger Empire's camp. The 3 people standing at the front were naturally his targets. "We haven't seen each other for a few years, but your cultivations have improved. You really didn't disappoint me." Then he looked at the Silver Fox Empire's side and said with a smile, "Nine-tailed Fox Fairy Qingqiu, Crimson Fox Lihua, these 2 beautiful sisters are as beautiful as they were a few years ago. Hee hee, Big Brother Wulong really knows how to talk. Big sister, Fei didn't come? Crimson Fox Lihua said with a smile. Of course she came, but she'll have to wait a while. She's behind Zue Linglong. Hundred-eyed demon, Lord Wulong replied with a smile. Then he looked at the two people from the Yulang Empire. Prince Heavenly Wolf, Princess Silver Wolf. What a match made in heaven. It seems like you've both received benefits from each other's bodies. Your strength has greatly increased. Interesting. These were all old acquaintances that hundred-eyed demon Lord Wulong had seen before, so he recognized them all. Finally, his gaze fell on the Tianhai Empire's camp. After searching for a while, he still couldn't find an answer. Suddenly, an eye opened behind his back. After a while, he looked at the little guy and said, "You're that little guy, right? I've heard of you. Now it looks like you're even scarier than the rumors say. Interesting, very interesting. What about Tianhai tyranny? Don't tell me he won't even give this elder face?" He suddenly looked towards the ship's cabin. Another eye opened behind him, and 2 rays of golden light shot towards the cabin, trying to force Tianhai tyranny to come out. However, the one who came out wasn't Tianhai tyranny, but the Crown Princess. The Crown Princess was dressed in luxurious and graceful clothing. With a light wave of her hand, the 2 rays of golden light disappeared into nothingness. "It's actually you." The hundred-eyed demon lord Wulong was stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter. "Good, how interesting. I remember that you were the little girl who participated in the last White Tiger Storm gathering. You were only 15 or 16 years old at that time, and you actually managed to obtain a good result of being in the top 20. The current you is much stronger than before, but you're really low-key. With your strength, you're definitely on the same level as us." Chapter 1821. You flatter me. The Crown Princess smiled faintly. "Not at all. I didn't expect this white tiger meet to be so lively. But Tianhai tyranny, when my junior sister Feng Fei shows up, you should have shown up by now, right?" Wulong looked towards the cabin. Still, there was no movement from within. Wulong pursed his lips and didn't say a word. He simply stood there and waited. Other than the 11 people in the first tier and the Crown Princess, no one else piqued his interest. He didn't even look at Sun Lingchan and Mu Wanchuang, who were known as Heavenly Ocean's 4 greats alongside Heavenly Ocean tyranny. In his eyes, these people weren't worthy of being his opponents. His only opponents were these fellows of the same level. It was that simple. Zue Linglong has arrived. The sound of a zither came from the horizon as a woman with a pipa slowly landed on the ground. Everything about this woman was good, including her beauty. However, her eyes were tightly shut, and it was said that she was blind. Because of this, she was also known as the blind Zue Linglong. "Zue Linglong greets everyone." The girl smiled politely before sitting down in the genie school camp. She had no intention of showing off her strength. "You're already here. Where's Feng Fei?" The heavenly lightning tiger Lai asked Zue Linglong. Zue Linglong's lips quirked up in a smile. "She arrived ages ago. Didn't you all sense it?" "What?" Hearing Zue Linglong's words, everyone was shocked. Feng Fei had arrived ages ago, but why didn't they sense anything? Their shock wasn't without reason. If they couldn't even sense Feng Fei's aura, then that person was too terrifying. Whoosh! A figure walked out from the crowd. She was dressed in phoenix robes, the fiery red of which complemented her figure perfectly. It made her feel like she'd just emerged from a raging inferno. But her aura was so ordinary and ordinary. She didn't seem domineering or powerful at all. In fact, she felt like an ordinary person. Everyone finally understood why they couldn't sense Feng Fei's presence. Everyone assumed that Feng Fei was very strong, so he'd definitely release a powerful aura. But in reality, Feng Fei could retract all of his aura to make him seem like a normal person. How could they be on guard against a normal person? This was too frightening. Fortunately, Feng Fei didn't make a move. Otherwise, wouldn't they all be dead? That might not be the case. Faced with Ji Luoyu's question, Ling Xiao smiled faintly. If Feng Fei really did make a move, his aura would have been exposed in an instant. Those 12, no, it should be 13 people. None of them are easy to provoke. It's impossible for them to fall for his trick. So that's how it is. Big Brother Ling, you are brilliant. Ji Luoyu nodded. So what if she's brilliant? This Feng Fei is really strong, too strong. This woman feels even more terrifying than Tianhai tyranny. The simpler it looks, the harder it is to deal with it. Ling Xiao furrowed his brows. One tyranny heavenly seas was enough of a headache for him. Now that Feng Fei had appeared, he might be even more troublesome to deal with. He really had to work hard. The crowd stared at Feng Fei, hoping to see something different about him, but it was no use. His concealment of his aura was flawless. It was as if he had always been one with the world, blending in with his surroundings. No wonder he was hailed as the one most likely to take first place among the first-tier geniuses. Where's tyranny heavenly seas? Did they suddenly grow ugly and don't dare to show their faces? Feng Fei stood there, all smiles as he swept his eyes over the surrounding cultivators. Then he asked jokingly. She was probably the only one who dared to make such a joke. Little girl from the Zhengyi school, don't make such senseless jokes. His Highness Crown Prince is just resting, so it's inconvenient for him to receive guests. The Crown Princess creased her brows. Hee, tyranny heavenly seas is getting more and more arrogant. They won't even give me face. Feng Fei looked in the direction of the cabin and smiled. Then he continued, if they aren't ugly, then they shouldn't have suffered any serious injuries, right? Although she spoke and laughed without a trace of ruthlessness, in everyone's eyes, anyone who dared to joke with tyranny heavenly seas like this was no ordinary person. These 12 fellows, no, including the Crown Princess, it should be 13 fellows. They were really too strong. There was no one else left to compete. It looks like we can forget about fighting for 13th place. That Crown Princess dared to argue with Feng Fei, the unapproachable Feng Fei, and hundred-eyed demon Lord Wulong's evaluation. She can't be weak. Everyone silently shook their heads, feeling depressed. When they first arrived, they were all dreaming of taking first place at the White Tiger Gathering. Every one of them was proud and arrogant. Even if they couldn't get first place, they could at least get into the top 10. But after seeing these 12 top geniuses, they all deflated like deflated balloons and gave up on their delusions. Maybe tyranny heavenly seas really is injured. We can even fight for 13th place. Some people began to indulge in wild fantasies. Perhaps Feng Fei's words made sense. Otherwise, why wouldn't tyranny heavenly seas show their faces? Ha ha ha, I think senior sister's right. Tyranny heavenly seas must have been injured, and heavily injured at that. That's why they don't dare show their faces, afraid that we'll see through them. Suddenly, a wild laugh rose from the Zhengyi school crowd. This person was the 4th son of the Zhengyi school after drunken Linglong, Jun Maching. He was Jun Macho's older brother, a martial artist on the same level as Sun Lingchan and Muwan Shuang, though perhaps even stronger. Big bro, don't speak nonsense. Jun Macho urged. Jun Macho was ranked 7th. After the battle at the Hell Pagoda, she had reaped great rewards. Her current strength was much stronger than before. She had to thank Ling Xiao for his help. Of course, that incident had also made her more mature. She no longer had her previous arrogance. Hearing her brother's words, Jun Macho quickly signaled him to stop speaking nonsense. Feng Fei dared to joke about tyranny heavenly seas because of his strength. But compared to Feng Fei, Jun Maching was a far cry. What's there to be afraid of? Every generation brings forth new talents. Can't tyranny heavenly seas get injured? Even if he wasn't injured, he might not be my match. Jun Maching didn't care for his sister's advice and curled his lips. All of you stay away from him. Feng Fei suddenly said something inexplicable, but as the head of the Zhengyi School's 7 sons, her words were very useful. Everyone else suddenly pulled away from Jun Maching. Which idiot disturbed this crown prince's rest? Suddenly, a cold and domineering voice rose from within the ship. Then a terrifying and tyrannical aura swept in from that direction, causing all the nearby martial artists to tremble in fear. They finally saw Tyranny Heavenly Seas. Chapter 1822. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean wore a purple crown and a purple crocodile robe. His appearance wasn't handsome, but it was very domineering. That face of his simply exuded an aura of authority without being angry. With his hands behind his back, he stepped into the air. The air seemed to be filled with his unparalleled, domineering aura. Although it wasn't the first time he saw Tyranny Heavenly Ocean's domineering aura, Ling Xiao couldn't help but sigh. This guy really was made to be an overlord. It doesn't matter if you're an overlord or not. I, Ling Xiao, will trample you under my feet. Ling Xiao coldly snorted in his heart. If he could use Phoenix Cry Mountain as a stepping stone, then he could use Tyranny Heavenly Ocean as a stepping stone too. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean. Jun Maching's pupils suddenly shrank, a trace of fear appearing on his face. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean's domineering aura had already made him feel immense pressure. He suddenly understood that he had overestimated himself. In this world, anyone can talk big, but if you talk big, you have to take responsibility. Do you think you're stronger than this crown prince? Then, take this crown prince's move. Boom! A terrifying and domineering aura rolled up. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean didn't use any moves. He just stepped into the air and waved his right hand. It seemed ordinary, but it was incomparably ferocious. His eyes revealed incomparable domineering and indifference. He didn't put anyone in his eyes at all. Your Highness, please show mercy. Jun Macho hurriedly knelt down and begged. Although that person was stupid, he was still her brother. She couldn't just watch as her brother was killed. Don't worry, I don't want to kill him. I'm just teaching him how to behave. The overwhelming aura of an overlord crushed down like the dome of the sky. Before the palm wind arrived, the terrifying aura had already suppressed Jun Maching to the point that he couldn't raise his head. That was Jun Maching, Zhengyi School's 4th-ranked genius. His strength was more terrifying than the majority of White Tiger Continent's martial artists under the age of 30. But in front of Tyranny Heavenly Ocean, he didn't even have the strength to fight back. His body trembled, and then he actually knelt on the ground. Spare me. His heart was filled with regret. He originally had no enmity with Heavenly Ocean Tyranny, but water had entered his brain, and he had to offend that guy. He really was sick, and very sick at that. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean only snorted coldly and then sent out a palm. Boom! A thunderous voice exploded in the void. The earth shook and the mountains shook. The ground cracked and Jun Maching's body was flattened by the palm strike. Fortunately, he was a yin-yang realm martial artist. His body's flexibility had already reached the limit. Otherwise, if it were an ordinary person, they would have died long ago. Looks like you're really nothing much. Heavenly Ocean Tyranny looked at Jun Maching, who no longer looked like a human, and laughed coldly. Zhengyi School's 4th disciple, you should have abdicated long ago. Even your sister is stronger than you. Trash! Jun Maching lay in the deep pit, his consciousness almost completely blurred. He had just used all of his chi to defend, but he was still beaten so miserably, and he knew that Tyranny Heavenly Ocean hadn't used all of his strength. Otherwise, he would have directly disappeared from this world. Many, many, many thanks for not killing me. Jun Maching didn't forget to reply in his daze. It's good that you've learned. Remember in the future, disaster comes from the mouth. Don't say anything, or you'll get yourself killed. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean snorted coldly, but didn't immediately return to the cabin. Instead, he looked at Ling Xiao in the distance. Some people are also watching. Offending this crown prince is the result. If not for the fact that we're from the same country, you might have been even more miserable. His words were clearly for Ling Xiao to hear. However, he only glanced at Ling Xiao and then turned back, so the others didn't know what he meant. Big brother, he seems to be threatening you, Red Moon said with a smile. Then tell me, what should I do? Ling Xiao asked with a smile. Give him a good beating, of course. Red Moon thought for a moment. But big brother, I'm still not his opponent right now. Although Ling Xiao was arrogant, he could clearly see the difference in strength between himself and his enemy. This time, not to mention those 13 people. Even that Jun Mo Qing was stronger than him. This Jun Mo Qing looked like a coward, and many people laughed at him. However, only Ling Xiao knew that in the entire Tianhai Empire, even Sun Lingchan and Mu Wanchuang might not be able to beat him. This person was very strong, but unfortunately he had met an even stronger and more terrifying opponent. Then surpass him. I know you can do it, big brother. Han Yue pouted and said, I also believe big brother can do it. Blue Snow's voice was as cold as ever, but her trust in Ling Xiao grew with each passing day. Haha, even if it's for you two little cuties, big brother can't lose to him. The White Tiger assembly is really too interesting. I like it. He could feel that every cell in his body was jumping with excitement. While he was paying attention to Tianhai tyranny, others were paying attention to Tianhai tyranny as well, especially those 11 first-tier geniuses. After seeing Tianhai tyranny's performance, they all smiled. Not a single person was afraid, not a single person frowned. It was as if only Tianhai tyranny's outstanding performance was worthy of being on the same level as them. Tianhai tyranny really lives up to their name, right? Too strong. He actually heavily injured Jun Mo Qing with a single slap. Amazing. No wonder he's on the same level as Feng Fei. He's even more famous than the others. The spectators were very excited. They didn't care who won or lost. Most importantly, they had worked hard to come here. Only a showdown between the top geniuses was a feast for their eyes. Tianhai tyranny, why are you so angry? Isn't it just an ignorant person saying some ignorant words? Feng Fei beamed as he looked at Tianhai tyranny. She was as calm as ever, as simple and unadorned as ever. Her appearance filled people with endless imagination and fear. He's ignorant, but the one I'm angry at is you. Tianhai tyranny gave Feng Fei a deep look. Oh, why are you angry at me? Feng Fei smiled. Fooling the world. Others might not be able to see through it. But do you think my Tianhai tyranny can't see through it? Forget it. No matter what, the first place of this year's White Tiger Assembly will belong to this crown prince. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean's words were a bit strange. Everyone was confused. They didn't understand what he meant. But Feng Fei seemed to know. He first place? Do you think you can take it away with me here? Feng Fei smiled and said mildly, You seem to be at a disadvantage in our duel, aren't you? Chapter 1823. You just won one more match. What's there to be proud of? Tianhai tyranny said disdainfully, and comparing notes is different from competing in the arena. I'll take first place for sure. Big bro, those two don't seem to care about us at all. Suddenly, Big Stomach Thunder Tiger glanced at Heavenly Thunder Tiger Lei Lai from the White Tiger Empire side. Yeah, they're treating us like air, Violent Tiger Lei Mang added. Ha ha ha, second bro. Third bro, you're right. Even if we have to decide who's better, it should be us three brothers. Those two are nothing. Heavenly Thunder Tiger Lei Lai was even more arrogant. The White Tiger Continent's #1 empire, the White Tiger Academy's #1 seat, was no joke. Haha, sorry, I forgot about you three. Feng Fei chuckled. But you three can forget about the top two. Move to the back. Move to the back? That woman is really interesting. Violent Tiger, Lei Meng grinned. Yeah, an interesting woman. Big Stomach Thunder Tiger swallowed a mouthful of saliva. I wonder how she tastes. Third bro, don't mess around. She's still from Zhenyi school. We have to give her some face and let her take third place. Heavenly Thunder, Tiger Lai, rubbed his chin. Three idiots. Tianhai Tyranny said coldly. Boom. The moment he spoke, Violent Tiger Lei Meng had already disappeared from his spot. He looked like a monkey, but his steps cracked the ground. In midair, his fists punched towards Tianhai Tyranny. Boom! Tianhai Tyranny sent out a palm, and the two collided in midair. Tianhai Tyranny took 2 steps back, while Violent Tiger Lei Meng took 1 step back. Big bro, this guy's really strong. He only took 1 step back when I suddenly attacked. He looks like a ruthless fellow. After Violent Tiger Lei Meng's attack ended, he instantly returned to his original position. Of course he's strong. How can the Crown Prince of Tianhai Empire not be strong? Plus, he doesn't specialize in strength. So, if we 3 brothers want to take the top 3, we'll have to work harder. Let's go to the Myriad Lightning Extreme Grounds and try our luck there before the White Tiger meet begins. Heavenly Thunder Tiger Lei knew that even though his second brother had taken advantage of this attack, Heavenly Sea Tyranny's advantage wasn't strength. After saying this, the 3 of them soared into the sky and actually entered the extreme lightning place. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean looked at the 3 figures, and his expression turned gloomy. Although he was a little foolish, his strength was truly astonishing. But soon after, he smiled. If he didn't have such an opponent, then he would be too lonely. Crown Princess, let's go to the extreme place of 10,000 Thunders as well. The path of martial arts has no end. No matter what, we can't relax. Tianhai Tyranny turned his head and glanced at the Crown Princess. Yes, then the 2 of them left together. Although the start of the White Tiger Tempest meet was very close, to a cultivator, sometimes a breakthrough might be a matter of opportunity. Not only did Tyranny Heavenly Seas want to take first place in the White Tiger Gathering, they also wanted to do it beautifully, completely crushing everyone else. If others wanted to become stronger, so did he. Afterwards, Feng Fei and the others all entered the extreme lightning place. It looked like these people all saw each other as opponents and threats. Although they were confident, they also knew their own limits. They knew that martial arts was like sailing against the current. If you didn't advance, you would fall behind. After the 13 first-rate experts left, the crowd felt that they'd had enough of the excitement for now. They needed to rest up and wait for the White Tiger Gathering to officially begin. Therefore, the originally bustling central camp gradually became empty and spacious. How is it? Are you a little discouraged? Ling Xiao looked at the extreme lightning place and wondered if he should go in and try his luck, when a voice suddenly spoke up by his ear. He looked up and saw Sun Lingchan. Discouraged? Why would I be discouraged? Ling Xiao smiled mildly. I admit that those 13 people can easily beat me in terms of strength, but a battle isn't just about strength on the surface. Moreover, the White Tiger Gathering will last for a long time. I don't believe that I won't make any progress during this time. Ling Xiao would recognize reality, but he wouldn't be discouraged or lose his fighting spirit. He hadn't come to the White Tiger Gathering to accompany the Crown Prince in his studies, much less play a supporting role. He was here to take first place. Those 13 people would all become his opponents. The pressure was as great as a mountain, but it was also great motivation. Hee, it looks like you're much stronger than I imagined. I was worrying too much. Sun Lingchan chuckled. Miss Sun didn't find me just for that, right? Ling Xiao asked. It's really easy to chat with smart people. That's right. I found you to tell you a few things, Sun Lingchan said with a laugh. Of course, don't misunderstand. I'm only telling you this in hopes that our cooperation can continue. I really do need the help of a pill refining genius like you. Speak, I'm listening. Ling Xiao nodded. Transactions were always a part of the martial world. Ling Xiao wouldn't be so naive as to think that everyone would be sincere to you. Moreover, even if they were sincere, they would need to be exchanged with your hard work. Wasn't this also a type of transaction? For example, Lan Shui had been very unfriendly to him at first, and now she was practically sticking close to him, completely treating him as the most reliable big brother. Sun Lingchan was no different. He needed some information, and Sun Lingchan needed his pill refining skills. They would exchange, each taking what they needed. It was very fair. Brother Ling comes from the Dragon Phoenix continent, so you're probably not very clear about the White Tiger gathering, right? Sun Lingchan asked. Yes, I'm very unclear. I don't even know the rules. Ling Xiao didn't have anything to hide about this. If he didn't know, then he didn't know. It wasn't shameful. Actually, the White Tiger gathering is favored by so many prodigies. It's not just to make a name for themselves, nor is it just for the rewards at the end of the gathering. It's also because some interesting things will happen in the process of the gathering. Sun Lingchan smiled and said, and these interesting things may ultimately affect all the martial artists participating in the gathering, allowing some martial artists who have talent but don't have the resources to cultivate to make a real comeback. So you've seen it too. Some prodigies aren't very strong, but because of their great talent, they are also selected. That's the reason. Can you be more specific? Ling Xiao roughly guessed, but he still wasn't very clear. Sun Lingchan nodded and said, in other words, the White Tiger gathering is different from ordinary competitions. It's not just a simple duel. Its competition schedule and duel methods are very interesting. The more talented a person is, the more benefits they will receive. Although I didn't participate in the previous White Tiger gathering, I heard from my father that someone actually made consecutive breakthroughs in the White Tiger gathering, crushing several martial artists who were usually stronger than him in one fell swoop. And there's more than one such person. Chapter 1824. Sun Lingchan continued. In other words, this meeting not only depends on strength, but also on talent and opportunity. I just wanted to tell Brother Ling not to think that you can't compare with those 13 people. They are indeed very strong now, but that's because they have been packaged with a lot of resources and have been guided by famous teachers for a long time. Here, the opportunities are equal. You and I both have the possibility of surpassing them. Of course, whether we can grasp this possibility depends on whether we have the fate. Fate? Ling Xiao said indifferently. Although sometimes fate is not up to me, I still want to control my own destiny. Since there is such an opportunity, I won't miss it. But Miss Sun seems to have not explained what special rules there are in the White Tiger meet. Sorry, I really don't know the specific rules, but my words are definitely not wrong. Sun Lingchan said with a smile. All right, thank you for your reminder. Miss Sunday Ling Xiao nodded. Although he would not be intimidated by those 13 people, it did not mean that his friends would not be intimidated. If they heard these words, he believed that everyone's confidence would also improve. No need. I'll go play in the extreme Thunderground first. You go ahead. Sun Lingchan smiled slightly, then turned and left. Looking at Sun Lingchan's back, Ling Xiao was a little emotional. If he did not have such superb alchemy skills, Sun Lingchan would not have been so friendly with him. As the saying goes, having more skills won't pressure you. Fortunately, I learned a few more things back then. Back in the pavilion, Ling Xiao told everyone what he had heard from Sun Lingchan. This made Mou and Zhu Xiaocong, who were in a very bad mood, finally look a little better. The others were also eager to give it a try. I won't say anything unnecessary. Everyone do your own things. It's best if you travel in groups of 3. You can try your luck at the 10,000 lightning desolate ground. However, don't go too deep, as it will be dangerous. You can also stroll around and relax. The White Tiger Storm meet is about to begin. Understood. Everyone dispersed. Although Hong Yue was reluctant to part with Ling Xiao, she was still a member of the Genie School. Since she was taken away by Jun Macho, Ling Xiao could not stop them. Big brother, I still want to play with you after the White Tiger meet ends. Big Sister Blue Snow, help me take good care of Big Brother. Hong Yue was reluctant to leave, but the child was still very obedient. Moreover, her master seemed to be a big shot in the Genie School, so Ling Xiao was not worried about her safety. Cold Plum, Blue Snow, let's go for a stroll. Ling Xiao glanced at the two people beside him. The three of them would act together. Master, are we not going to the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place? Cold Plum asked in confusion. Opportunities exist in every corner. People can't just focus on cultivation. They have to see more things. Only then can they broaden their horizons. Ling Xiao was not in a hurry to enter the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. Anyway, he would enter sooner or later, so he did not care about the time. What's more, he had always believed that opportunities might not necessarily be there. Perhaps there were opportunities elsewhere. It would not be too late to go to the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place after taking a stroll outside and familiarizing himself with the terrain. Master, have you noticed that the closer we get to the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place, the denser the heaven and earth spirit chi seems to be? Even if we don't cultivate, just by breathing, the dense heaven and earth spirit chi will enter our body. This feeling is really comfortable. After taking 2 steps, Cold Plum said excitedly, Well, that's true. It seems that the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place is indeed a good place to go. No wonder those 13 guys want to enter in advance. Interesting. Ling Xiao nodded. He could also feel that if he did not use any foreign objects and only relied on the heaven and earth spirit chi to cultivate, the cultivation effect here was almost twice as good as in Tianhai City. No wonder so many people poured into this place. It seemed that many people wanted to come here to bask in the glory, because every 10 years, the lightning here would weaken by a lot. Even if they could not enter the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place, they could still get closer to it. It was also very beneficial for cultivation. Thinking about it, those people might not just be here to watch the show. Let's walk around the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place and see if we can finish circling it. Ling Xiao suddenly had an idea. He wanted to observe the situation of the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. He definitely did not believe that this was a simple place that was naturally formed. Obviously, such a good place must have been created by the ancestors. As for what the purpose was, it was unknown for the time being. The three of them began to speed up around the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. Their seemingly slow pace was several times faster than ordinary people. There seems to be a building in front. That's not the building of the Thunder City, right? The style is different. About a mile away from the Thunder City, the three of them found a very magnificent building. It was built against the mountain, just north of the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. On the building, there were many flags with the word Songjing written on them. The three of you don't go there. That's the territory of the Songjing clan, one of the 4 great clans guarding the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. Outsiders are not allowed to easily approach it. A passerby reminded them. There were many martial artists cultivating near the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. Some of them were gloating, while others were kind-hearted people. In the end, there were no absolutes in this world. The 4 great clans. Ling Xiao was stunned for a moment. He did not understand. To be exact, it should be the 4 great temples. However, almost all the guardians of the 4 great temples are from the 4 great clans, so they are also called the 4 great clans. Their forces outside may not be as powerful as the Genie School, but in the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place, even the Genie School has to give them face. The man explained, the Songjing clan, the Xiaozi clan, the Boyi clan, and the Shinmu clan respectively guard the 4 great temples of the Myriad Lightning Extreme Place. They are very powerful and cannot be provoked. Thank you for the reminder. Here are some spirit stones. Please accept them. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Of course. The other party reminded him with good intentions. He just paid a few spirit stones, which was nothing at all. However, the man was overjoyed. Obviously, he didn't expect that his compassion would benefit him so much. However, after he got the spirit stones, he found that Ling Xiao and the other two did not stop. Instead, they continued to walk forward. However, they avoided the territory of the Songjing clan and went around it from a farther place. At this time, Ling Xiao did not want to cause trouble, but his previous plan did not change. Since they could not pass through the Songjing clan, they would just go around it. However, sometimes, even if you wanted to keep the peace, some people were not willing to let you have an easy time. Whoosh! Just as the three of them were walking quickly, a crossbow arrow suddenly shot from the dense forest. Fortunately, the three of them were all experts, so they avoided the crossbow arrow. If it were an ordinary person, they would have been shot to death. Chapter 1825. Who is it? Ling Xiao felt that he had endured enough today. Unexpectedly, someone came to find trouble. It seemed that if the tiger did not show its might, they would treat him as a sick cat. Soon, dozens of figures surrounded the three of them. Each of them had a special crossbow in their hands. On the arrowheads, there was a faint blue light. It was clearly smeared with poison. The person in front was a woman in white. She was dressed very fashionably and looked exquisite. However, her contemptuous face made Ling Xiao a little uncomfortable. He had seen such a face more than once. Generally, people who had such a face were mostly spoiled since childhood and did not put others in their eyes. Today was really unlucky to meet such a guy. It seemed that things could not be settled peacefully. Don't the three of you know that this is a forbidden area? How dare you trespass? The woman looked at Ling Xiao indifferently and asked coldly, We really didn't know that bypassing the territory of the Sora family is also considered stepping into the forbidden area. Ling Xiao frowned. This Sora family was too overbearing. I said this is a forbidden area, so this is a forbidden area. Anyone who steps into the forbidden area will be dealt with by our Sora family. Tell me, do you plan to leave your things or your lives? The woman asked with a smile. These words made Ling Xiao even more annoyed. What kind of guardian family was this? It was simply a robber. Can't we retreat? Ling Xiao asked. Retreat? You can ask them if you can. The woman waved her hand, and someone behind her threw out a few corpses. These corpses were all pierced by sharp crossbow arrows. They were poisoned to death. They didn't plan to hand over their things, so we sent them to where they should go. Of course, their storage rings are also ours. The woman said with a smile that was not a smile, because the 4 major families in the land of 10,000 thunders were far away from the 4 great empires. There was a shortage of materials here. Therefore, they were very eager for all kinds of materials. They had done this kind of robbery more than once, so they did not feel that there was anything wrong with it. Big brother, this woman is so annoying. I don't like her. Blue Snow hated such unreasonable people the most. The shadow that Prince Charming had left in her heart wasn't something that could be removed so easily. He is indeed very annoying. Cold Plum also nodded. Ling Xiao sighed. He had seen many of these kinds of people, so he was no longer surprised. In fact, in the profound world, such people were the most common. Relying on her strength and her family background, she could do whatever she wanted. If others offended her or disobeyed her, they would have to pay a heavy price. Those who submit to me will prosper, and those who oppose me will perish. In a world where strength was everything, this was too normal. Reality was cruel. If one didn't want to be bullied by others, they had to become stronger. Kill those 2 girls. The woman suddenly said coldly. 2 crossbow bolts immediately shot towards Blue Snow and Cold Plum. At such a close distance, it was clear that she did not intend to show mercy. Because Cold Plum and Blue Snow said she was annoying, It was that simple. Whether it was blue snow or cold plum, they would definitely be seriously injured if they were hit by the crossbow bolts. The crossbow bolts were very powerful. In addition, they were dipped in poison. They were used to kill Yin-Yang realm martial artists. Cold Plum was naturally not afraid of the crossbow bolts. Her reaction was also very quick. After all, she had experienced many life-or-death battles. She had even been on the battlefield with Ling Xiao. However, Blue Snow was different. Although she was not weak, she lacked actual combat experience. Facing this sudden attack, she was actually stunned. However, would Ling Xiao let her get hurt? Of course not. A cold gaze shot out from Ling Xiao's eyes. He took a step forward and stood in front of Blue Snow. His tall and sturdy body was like a reliable shield that protected Blue Snow. Blue Snow's originally fearful and dazed gaze immediately thawed. A shy blush appeared on her face. Bam! Ling Xiao flicked his finger lightly, and the crossbow bolt was deflected back. It pierced the throat of the person who shot the arrow. That person fell to the ground and died. He did not even have the chance to scream. "How dare you!" The woman was instantly enraged when she saw that Ling Xiao actually dared to kill her own people. She swung her hand, and a 3-foot-long flexible sword was drawn from her waist. After that, she stabbed it towards Ling Xiao. The aura that Ling Xiao released was only at the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm. However, she was a 10th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. Thus, she did not take this fellow seriously at all. Ling Xiao looked at the flexible sword indifferently. A cold radiance flashed across his eyes. He reached out with his right hand and caught the flexible sword between 2 fingers. The woman was shocked. The flexible sword was caught between 2 fingers. It was as heavy as 1,000 kilograms. It could not move at all. "Get lost!" The woman roared crazily. She was extremely embarrassed and furious. Black Yin-Yang Yuan energy rolled towards the flexible sword in her right hand. Then it followed the flexible sword and pounced towards Ling Xiao. However, it was useless. The black energy instantly dissipated when it got close to Ling Xiao's fingers. The white tiger meet is about to begin. I advise you not to act rashly. Otherwise, you will not have a good ending if you offend someone you cannot afford to offend. Ling Xiao did not want to make a big deal out of this, as he was worried that it would affect his participation in the white tiger meet. Thus, he decided to take this woman down a notch and let her live for the time being. After he finished speaking, a chilling aura exuded from his fingers. It followed the flexible sword and attacked the woman. Get lost and reflect on yourself. The woman only felt a shocking force coming from the flexible sword. Then her arm went numb. She was sent flying by the force and landed on the ground a few meters away. She was in a very sorry state. "You're courting death." A figure charged out from the crowd. It seemed like it was because Ling Xiao had touched the woman. This person's strength was shocking. He was probably even stronger than the woman. The ferocious aura seemed to cover the sky and the earth. The nearby trees rustled and fell to the ground in disarray. Ling Xiao wanted to attack, but he gave up. Blue Snow, who was already enraged, flashed out from behind him and struck out with her palm. A strange ice dragon was released from her slender hand and collided with that person. That person was instantly frozen into an ice cube and sent flying. After that, he crashed into the ground and shattered into pieces. Beautiful! Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. Although he had seen Blue Snow attack before, this was the first time that she was so decisive. This meant that Blue Snow had grown. At this moment, the woman crawled up from the ground and looked at Ling Xiao as if she had gone crazy. She shouted, "Do you know who I am? How dare you attack me and kill someone from the Songjing family? You're finished. If you don't get lost, I'll kill all of you." Ling Xiao looked coldly at the woman and said. Chapter 1826. If you don't scram, I'll kill all of you. Ling Xiao's voice was cold and eerie. There was no emotion in it at all, as if it had come from the depths of hell. Do you know what you're doing? The woman roared. I'll give you 3 breaths of time to disappear from my sight. Otherwise, I'll start killing. Ling Xiao stretched out 3 fingers and looked coldly at this proud and angry woman as he said indifferently. He didn't believe that the 4 great families in the land of 10,000 lightnings could be stronger than the 4 great empires and the genie school. If he was afraid of the 4 great families, how could he possibly unify the White Tiger continent? As a tyrant, he couldn't lack dominance, and he couldn't be afraid. 3. Ling Xiao retracted his finger. His eyes were still cold. The woman took a step back, as if she was hesitating whether to leave or not. It was obvious that the 3 of them weren't weak. They might not be a match for these 3 fellows. However, wouldn't it be too embarrassing to turn around and leave just like that? They were from the Sora family, too. Ling Xiao's eyes and expression didn't change. He only retracted his second finger. Attack together. Kill them for me. The woman didn't want to embarrass herself. She waved her hand and shouted at the dozens of people behind her. Yes. As soon as she gave the order, dozens of crossbow bolts shot through the air, completely surrounding Ling Xiao and the other 2. Ling Xiao still didn't move. Blue snow unleashed a frightening chill from her body and formed a circular ice barrier that enveloped the 3 of them. The crossbow arrows couldn't penetrate the ice barrier at all. Retreat! Seeing this, the woman seemed to finally understand the disparity in strength between her and her enemies. She knew that she couldn't wait any longer. She had to leave. Otherwise, she would die here today. 1. At this moment, Ling Xiao's cold voice sounded. Then an afterimage shot through the air. It was Cold Plum. The woman only felt that the dozens of people around her had all fallen to the ground in an instant. Her heart was filled with fear. She could only run for her life, fearing that the terrifying killer would stab the sharp blade into her body. Boom! A figure blocked Cold Plum's dagger and took the opportunity to grab the woman and flee into the distance. The 3 of you listen to me. You're dead for offending our Sora family. The woman was finally saved because someone came to her rescue, but it was obvious that she had not learned her lesson. He continued to threaten Ling Xiao as he broke through the air. Upon hearing this voice, Ling Xiao's face immediately darkened. Originally, when he was participating in the White Tiger Storm meet, he had come up with a strategy to avoid causing trouble. He was afraid of delaying the important matters, but now it seemed that the plan was not as fast as the changes. Rather than carefully enduring it, it was better to face it openly. Even if he were to die, he would die with a bang. He could not die like a coward. Master, that person just now seemed to be Sora Fei from the Tianhai Empire, who was participating in the White Tiger Storm meet. Cold Plum returned to Ling Xiao's side and whispered, Well, I can see that this person's aura is very similar to the black-clothed woman I killed in the Tianhai City arena that day. Most likely, that black-clothed woman was also from the Sora family. Ling Xiao frowned. I didn't expect that my enemies would appear one by one, hee. Then what should we do? Go back and wait for the White Tiger Storm meet to begin, or continue with our previous plan? Cold Plum asked. Let's continue. If we're afraid of a mere Sora family, how can we compete with Xingyi School? Ling Xiao was ambitious, extremely ambitious. He could not be afraid of this small Sora family. Although in the eyes of others, this family was very powerful, no matter how powerful it was still dwarfed by Xingyi School. It could not even be compared with the 4 great empires. What's more, even if we retreat, do you think they'll let us go? Since trouble has come, let's solve it as soon as possible. It's better than dragging it out until the start of the meeting. Understood, Master. Cold Plum nodded. Big brother, I didn't perform well just now. I'm sorry. Blue Snow suddenly lowered her head and said. She obviously felt a little ashamed because she didn't dodge the crossbow arrow at the beginning. Silly girl, who can be born a combat expert. After experiencing so much, you'll naturally adapt to such a situation. Take your time, there's no hurry. Anyway, you're still young. Ling Xiao smiled and then beckoned Cold Plum and Blue Snow to continue forward. When he had just walked around the land of infinite thunderbolts, he had discovered something. The land of infinite thunderbolts looked like it was set up by a huge array. This array was so exquisite and terrifying that even Ling Xiao's Tai Chi eye could not fully grasp it in a short time. Furthermore, he had also discovered something interesting. It seemed like the place where the Songjing family was located was one of the array gates of this huge array. Therefore, he wanted to know if there were similar array gates in the territories of the other 3 great families. These array gates couldn't be freely entered and exited, but a large amount of dense energy seeped out from them. This was probably the reason why the 4 great sacred halls had been built in these 4 places. After spending close to 2 hours circling the entire land of infinite thunderbolts, Luo Yunyang finally realized what was going on. This thought was confirmed. I'm afraid this array is the legendary Infinite Thunderbolts Immortal Array. The 4 array gates can release an astonishing amount of spirit energy that is very beneficial for cultivation. This was what the Yuan Venerate had told Ling Xiao. After all, the Yuan Venerate was the true expert when it came to array formations. Furthermore, the Yuan Venerate had crossed more bridges than Ling Xiao had eaten salt. Naturally, his words couldn't be wrong. Infinite Thunderbolts, Immortal Array? This was the first time Ling Xiao had heard of such an array formation. That's right. According to legend, this array formation was used to kill those human immortals who had defected. Back then, many human immortals couldn't resist the temptation of the sky demon and became its puppets. The human monarch set up this array formation and killed them all. The Yuan Venerate replied, Then the so-called treasures in the land of infinite thunderbolts must have been left behind by these human immortals after they died, right? Ling Xiao asked. Perhaps, but no one can say for sure without going in. The Yuan Venerate replied uncertainly. Ling Xiao was about to say something when he suddenly saw dust flying in the distance and birds chirping in the sky. They were actually heading in their direction aggressively, as if they were here for revenge. This is a place with a lot of people. How dare they make a move? Ling Xiao frowned. The 3 of them had already circled the land of infinite thunderbolts and arrived at a place with a cauldron of voices. This wasn't the central camp or the thunderclap city. However, there were more than 10,000 martialists coming from the north and south. The Songjing family was really overbearing by coming here to cause trouble. Chapter 1827. As expected of one of the 4 major clans in the extreme lightning ground, the Songjing clan's overbearingness and arrogance were truly unflattering. After a while, countless cultivators hurriedly made way. A group of dozens of armored horses quickly surrounded Ling Xiao and the other 2. These people were all riding ferocious demonic beasts, and all of them were above the 3rd level of the Yin-Yang realm. The strongest one was at the 12th level of the Yin-Yang realm. He was a burly middle-aged man. In the sky, there were also dozens of birds flying over. Among them, there was a white eagle, and the one standing on it was the woman from before. It's them. The woman shouted at everyone, and the dozens of birds circled in the sky. This left Ling Xiao, Blue Snow, and Cold Plum with no way out. They were surrounded in the sky and on the ground. Master, those fellows in the sky are even stronger. They are all cultivators above the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. The Songjing clan is indeed very powerful. Cold Plum walked to Ling Xiao's side. There was no fear on her face. She was just a little emotional. If the Heavenly Empire also had such a powerful lineup, they would have conquered the Heavenly Dragon Continent and the Divine Phoenix Continent long ago. The surrounding cultivators were all still in shock. They left the place far away and watched the show from afar. They did not recognize Ling Xiao and the other 2. but they were all too familiar with the Songjing clan's flag. Someone actually dared to provoke the Songjing clan in a place like the extreme lightning ground. Was there something wrong with their heads? Even the Jingyi school had to show some respect to the Songjing clan. How dare these three youngsters provoke them? How pitiful. They would probably become cold corpses soon. Thief, you were so powerful when you killed my Songjing clan's cultivators. Do you feel fear now? Do you feel intense regret? The woman stood on top of the white eagle, looking down at Ling Xiao from above. She no longer looked like she was running away in a sorry state from before. She had transformed into a proud rooster. She held her head high, as if she was afraid that others would not know how proud she was. She had always been in the vicinity of the Sora clan, using the excuse of hunting and robbing martial artists who approached the myriad Thunder Extreme place. Even the martial artists of the four great empires never dared to fart. She did not expect to meet three idiots today. Not only did they dare to talk back to her, they even dared to kill her people and attack her. This was simply provoking the Almighty. Yes, I do regret it, and I'm also very scared. Ling Xiao looked indifferently at the arrogant woman in the sky and revealed an indifferent smile. I really regret not killing you directly. I was really afraid that I wouldn't be able to control my hands and slaughter all of you. Although his voice was calm, it was filled with a sinister, killing intent. His original intention was to spare the woman's life, which could be regarded as giving some face to the Sora family. But now it seemed that this approach was too naive. How could the dignified Sora family remember that he didn't kill them? They would only think that he didn't dare to do it because of fear. This was a common problem of the great clans. Therefore, when dealing with a large family clan, one had to make the other party completely afraid in one go. Otherwise, there would be endless trouble. He had never felt that he had done anything wrong before. The other party wanted to kill them. Could it be that he would stand there and let the other party kill him? Hearing Ling Xiao's words, the woman's original arrogant smile suddenly froze. She did not expect that after she brought so many experts over, this brat would still be so arrogant. Not only did he not yield, he actually said that he wanted to kill her? What a reckless fool! The three of you should kill yourselves. This is the last benevolence this young lady will give you. Kill yourselves in front of these people. Don't say that this young lady didn't give you a chance. The woman's cold voice sounded. She was extremely disgusted with these three people, especially that man. What was that look in his eyes? Ridicule? Contempt? Or disdain? This kind of look made her very uncomfortable. She was immediately filled with a sense of humiliation and frustration. She felt that only by making these three fellows commit suicide in front of everyone could she vent the unhappiness in her heart and satisfy her compulsion. Kill yourselves? Was your brain kicked by a donkey? Could it be that you forgot the sorry state of running for your life just now? If I can make you fall into fear once, I can do it a second time. Ling Xiao looked at that woman with a smile that did not seem like a smile. If he had met this woman when he had just arrived at the White Tiger continent, he would have had no choice but to turn around and run, hiding in a place that she did not know. However, what did he have to be afraid of now? He had met many such opponents. He was not as powerful as he was now when he killed the 72 heavenly demon cult members. The woman's face was almost distorted. She felt that Ling Xiao's words were humiliating her. Kill. Kill these three fellows. I don't care what methods you use. The woman suddenly roared. She was no longer as calm and arrogant as before. Instead, she was like a lunatic. Whoosh! Just as the woman gave the order, the two demon mounts carried their masters and charged towards Ling Xiao. Astonishing power exploded from different directions. Ling Xiao did not move. That was because there was no need for him to make a move on these small fries. Blue Snow, train your fighting skills. Big Brother and your big sister Cold Plum will protect you. He looked at Blue Snow and spoke dotingly. She did not look like she was in danger at all. Instead, she looked like she had discovered a fun game. Yes, Big Brother. Blue Snow nodded. Water blue energy surfaced in her body. It actually condensed into a small dragon that was completely made of ice crystals around her body. The water blue ice crystal dragon looked very beautiful, but it was a little petite. It was only 2 meters tall. It was more like a dragon's cub. After that, Blue Snow gently waved her arm, and the ice crystal dragon started to wave its cold claws and tail. Its claws clawed towards the front. Its tail swung towards another enemy. She had to face 2 Yin-Yang realm martial artists and 2 demonic beasts that were close to the Yin-Yang realm. Although her enemies were weak, it was still a precious opportunity for Blue Snow to train. That was because she had too little battle experience. Every battle was extremely precious to her. Boom! Bam! Bam! The cold dragon's claws landed on the enemy in front of her. The knight and the demonic beast were slammed into the ground together. The cold aura completely froze the knight and the demonic beast. Hence, when the dragon slammed into them, they shattered at the same time. They were probably not going to survive. The other knight and the demonic beast were in an even worse state. They were swept by the dragon's tail. They shattered into pieces in midair and scattered all over the ground. What a powerful little girl! Everyone was stunned for a moment. They did not expect that this little girl, who looked to be only 11 or 12 years old, would be able to explode with such terrifying power in an instant. Chapter 1828. Could this young lady be a genius martial artist participating in the White Tiger meet? This thought appeared in the crowd's mind as they watched Blue Snow's outstanding performance. What are you all waiting for? Kill them. Don't attack them one by one. Attack together and kill them. The woman was about to go crazy when she saw this scene. She was here to settle scores with the other party, but she didn't expect such a battle to become a stage for the other party's performance. Many people were secretly impressed. How could someone as arrogant as her accept this? This woman wasn't stupid. She could tell that these 3 people weren't easy to deal with. She knew that she couldn't win if she fought them alone, so she decided to let everyone attack together. This should give her an advantage. Blue Snow, this is a real battlefield. You have to be aware of your enemies. These people aren't very strong to you. You can win, but you might be killed if you're not careful. Continue to work hard. Ling Xiao still had no intention of attacking. He didn't even ask Cold Plum to attack. This was such a good opportunity. He should let Blue Snow train properly. This way, she would be able to perform better in the White Tiger meet. Blue Snow nodded. There was some nervousness on her little face, but there was also determination. Kill! A black mass of birds swooped over, covering the sky and covering the earth. On the ground, there were dozens of demonic beast riders charging over. What should I do? Blue Snow was still a little inexperienced. She couldn't think of a better way to deal with so many enemies at once. Thus, she circulated her yin-yang origin energy and made the ice crystal dragon around her grow bigger. The 2-meter-long dragon turned into a 4-meter-long dragon. After that, the killing began. 3rd or 4th tier yin-yang realm martial artists couldn't get close to her. Basically, they wouldn't be able to escape death if they did. Even though Blue Snow was inexperienced, she wasn't easy to bully because of her abilities. Only martial artists above the 10th tier of Yin-Yang realm could pose a threat to Blue Snow. All sorts of wounds appeared on the ice crystal dragon. Blood flowed from the corner of Blue Snow's mouth. She had already killed more than 10 enemies. However, it was obvious that she was at a disadvantage now. Blue Snow, you have to be flexible when you're fighting against so many people. Otherwise, you won't be able to last long if you keep getting beaten up. Ling Xiao reminded. Since it was training, he would definitely point out any areas that Blue Snow was lacking in. These words were truly like a wake-up call for a dreamer. Blue Snow shrunk her ice crystal dragon back to its original size of 2 meters. After that, she soared into the sky. In just an instant, a 10th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist and his mount were sent to hell. Blue Snow wasn't as fast as Ling Xiao, but she was much faster than these people. Furthermore, her aura had a terrifying characteristic. Any enemy that got close to her would slow down. It was as if he had been frozen by ice. This allowed her to fully display her outstanding combat strength. Seeing this scene, the opponent's expert could no longer sit still. In the sky, a figure suddenly flew out. His palm struck towards Blue Snow. Blue Snow was caught off guard. In addition, she was so engrossed in killing that she forgot to defend herself. She was actually struck by this person behind her. The ice crystal dragon instantly shattered, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. That person wanted to continue his pursuit and kill Blue Snow. However, a black shadow appeared and protected Blue Snow, sending her back to the ground. "I'm sorry, big brother. I've embarrassed you." Blue Snow leaned on Cold Plum's shoulder and said dejectedly, "Silly girl, you've already done very well. Leave the rest to me, your big brother." Ling Xiao gently patted her head. Although Blue Snow was injured, Ling Xiao felt that this injury wasn't a bad thing for her. She would be more alert when fighting in the future. She wouldn't make the same mistake again. Ling Xiao stood there, his gaze cold as he stared at the enemies. A terrifying aura was brewing in his body. The holy power of light coiled around his body. The scarlet sun in the sky shone its light on the golden crow projection behind him. The light on his body became even more blinding. The power of light and the power of shadow were the two attributes of Ling Xiao's yin-yang origin energy. They could be converted into each other, but they could also be separated. Therefore, whether it was the strengthening of the power of shadow or the power of light, it was equivalent to strengthening both at the same time. After the battle in the underground world and Demon Mountain, his strength had increased to a terrifying level. Until now, he hadn't met an opponent who could make him unleash his full strength and fight to his heart's content. He wanted to fight with Tyranny Heavenly Ocean, but unfortunately, they didn't think much of him. However, today he planned to exercise his hands and feet and have a preview of the white tiger meat. Pure power of light, without any impurities. It didn't incorporate the power of Imperial Heaven-Earth. It also didn't incorporate soul power or shadow power. That was why this power appeared so holy and pure. This actually caused many martial artists to involuntarily pray to Ling Xiao. Boom! Boom! Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The sound of wild beasts stomping on the ground and birds flying through the air rang out at the same time. Apart from that woman, all the warriors of the Aoi family attacked at the same time. They had defeated Blue Snow and obtained a victory, so they believed that defeating Ling Xiao would be a piece of cake. The expert who had injured Blue Snow just now was also hidden in the team, ready to launch a sneak attack on Ling Xiao at any time. To him, sneak attacks weren't shameful. As long as he could kill Ling Xiao, it would be his victory and the Aoi family's victory. A terrifying aura surrounded that holy light, as if darkness was about to devour the light. All kinds of weapons flew towards Ling Xiao, forming long snakes of energy in the air. They clearly wanted to kill Ling Xiao. The attack this time made countless spectating warriors worried about Ling Xiao. Clearly, after learning their lesson, the warriors of the Aoi family paid more attention to attacking at the same time. Big brother, why don't you choose to attack them one by one? Blue Snow asked Cold Plum curiously. Because he's very strong. Cold Plum's answer was very simple, or rather, she didn't answer anything. However, Blue Snow was very satisfied with this answer. Yes, it was because Ling Xiao was very strong that he could face so many powerful enemies without any fear. Kill! Ling Xiao's aura suddenly surged, and a huge light barrier expanded rapidly with his body as the center. Since the Aoi family doesn't know what's good for them, all of you can die. The terrifying light barrier touched the warriors of the Aoi family, and suddenly, loud booms rang out continuously. At this moment, the terrifying power of light was unleashed to its greatest extent. High temperature! High temperature! It was like a sharp blade, easily slicing through the bodies of the opponents. Ling Xiao seemed to be bathing in the scarlet sun, like a god of the scarlet sun. Chapter 1829. Crimson Sun Feather Coat, Great Crimson Sun Shield. The Crimson Sun Feather Coat had always been Ling Xiao's favorite defensive technique. Not only did it have a strong defensive power, but it could also hurt the enemy. However, as his cultivation level increased and he became more familiar with light ultimacy, the Crimson Sun Feather Coat could shrink and expand at any time. When the Crimson Sun Feather Coat expanded to a certain range, it would become a powerful area of effect attack. It had all the destructive power of the Crimson Sun Feather Coat and a portion of its defensive power. It was very practical. As the great Crimson Sun Shield kept colliding with the Songjing clan's martial artists who were charging over. In an instant, the flames boiled and the heat radiated in all directions. The entire area seemed to have turned into a fiery purgatory. The air was filled with a strong burnt smell. The surrounding martial artists could clearly smell the nauseating smell. At the same time, shrill screams came from the terrifying flames. No, it's so hot. It hurts. Ah, ah, ah. The screams became the main melody of the entire battlefield. In just a short while, all the Songjing clan's martial artists and demonic beasts on the ground were dead except for one person. As for the birds in the sky, 4 or 5 of them were burned to death. The initiator, Ling Xiao, did not move at all. He did not move at all. Is this the Songjing clan? I'm really scared. Ling Xiao smiled scornfully and looked up at the woman. This guy is really scary. He's much scarier than the little girl. Yeah, I thought the little girl was the strongest among the 3 of them. I didn't expect this guy to be even scarier. Many martial artists in the crowd were trembling with fear. Although they did not understand what move Ling Xiao had just used, the terrifying power made them fearful. The most unacceptable thing was that the martial artist who released such terrifying power was only at the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm. What the hell? Big Brother is really powerful. Blue Snow's face was red. She was extremely excited. She knew Ling Xiao was powerful, but she never expected Ling Xiao to be so powerful. Even a martial artist at the 12th level of the Yin-Yang realm could not get close to him when faced with this terrifying move. No wonder her big brother Ling Xiao didn't choose to attack them one by one. Instead, he chose to face the enemy head-on and kill them in the most domineering way. Cold Plum sighed inwardly. Ling Xiao's light Upanishad seemed to be more familiar with it. His light Upanishad was much more terrifying than before. It seemed that his master must have encountered something when he was missing. Otherwise, it was impossible for his strength to increase so quickly. Light Upanishad and Shadow Upanishad were the Upanishads that all creatures in the world feared. If one truly cultivated it to the extreme, one would be able to control yin and yang and understand light and shadow. That would be terrifying. Ling Xiao had only scratched the surface, and he was already so terrifying. Who knew how terrifying he would be once he fully grasped the light and shadow profound? In the sky, the woman, standing on the white eagle, trembled all over. The people around her who were responsible for protecting her were all powerhouses at the 12th level of the yin-yang stage. Even so, she did not feel safe at all. She felt that she could be in danger at any time. That terrifying attack from Ling Xiao had completely instilled fear into the depths of her heart. She only had one thought now, and that was to kill Ling Xiao. Only when Ling Xiao was dead could she be at ease and not be on tenterhooks all day. Kill him! Kill him quickly! She screamed with all her might. The glory of the Songjing clan can't be tarnished by anyone, especially him. He's only a 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm martial artist. What are you afraid of? The woman, tried to calm herself down. She did not understand what she was afraid of. She was a member of the Songjing clan, and she had a high status. This brat had actually killed dozens of Songjing clan martial artists outside the Wanlei Extreme Place. The brat should be the one who was afraid, not her. However, the remaining martial artists were all smart people. If they were not smart, they would not have such powerful cultivation. They were not as impulsive as before. Instead, they observed Ling Xiao cautiously, as if they wanted to find a flaw in Ling Xiao's plan. They were not afraid of Ling Xiao because each of their cultivations were more powerful than Ling Xiao's. However, there was nothing wrong with being cautious. After all, they knew nothing about this fellow. Ling Xiao looked at the martial artists in the sky in disdain and sneered. The Songjing clan can live and work peacefully in the Wanlei Extreme Place because no martial artists from the outside world enter this place all year round. Do you really think that the Songjing clan can do whatever they want on the White Tiger mainland? You self-righteous, stupid woman. What you did today will not only harm you, but it will also drag your clan into a bottomless abyss. Nonsense. You'll definitely die, the woman shouted loudly. Is that so? Since that's the case, why don't you make a move? I'm standing right here. Ling Xiao smiled and said, Why don't I make a move first? He suddenly looked at the martial artist who injured Blue Snow previously. The corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. You're considered an expert at any rate, but you're lowering your level for such a slut and sneaking an attack on a 12-year-old girl. Do you have any face? That person did not utter a word. He just looked at Ling Xiao coldly. He was afraid that Ling Xiao would suddenly launch an attack. You don't have to be so vigilant. I can tell you that the next attack will cripple your right hand first. Prepare to defend. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Is this person stupid? He actually revealed the target of his attack. Do you think others will fall for it? The onlookers were dumbfounded. Maybe he's just deliberately mystifying to confuse the opponent. Another person said, Your explanation is somewhat reasonable. That Songjing clan expert looked at Ling Xiao and said coldly, Brat, I admit that you're very strong. However, don't think of using this kind of petty trick to trick me. Is that so? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Suddenly he swung his right hand. A glaring crimson sun all pierced through the air. With the increase in his cultivation, the increase in his light ultimacy, and the strengthening of his power of light, the crimson sun, all speed, power, and various other aspects had a new breakthrough. In just an instant, many people temporarily lost their vision, including that expert. The moment he lost his vision, he let out a miserable shriek. After that, his vision recovered. Most people's vision had recovered. They looked at that expert. That person's right arm had been completely incinerated. I said that I'll cripple your right hand. I'll definitely keep my word. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a cold smile. He was confident and calm. The martial artists in the crowd were already dumbfounded by what they saw. Hey, am I seeing things? This guy is more powerful than I imagined. Yeah, I don't know what kind of move he used just now. It can actually make people lose their vision instantly. It's too terrifying. Everyone's opinion of Ling Xiao was getting higher and higher. They felt that this brat was really strong. Furthermore, his entire body was emitting a mysterious aura. He was definitely not a simple brat. Chapter 1830. One more strike, and I'll take your left arm. Ling Xiao's voice rang out once again. There was no emotion in it. It was just so indifferent, as if he was just casually speaking. But this time, no one thought he was joking. The same move won't work twice. Young man, you underestimate me. Although the master had lost an arm, he still had the demeanor of a master. Oh, really? Ling Xiao smiled and threw out a crimson sun all in the same motion as before. The master closed his eyes the moment the crimson sun all flew out and dodged it easily. After all, he had some strength. He opened his eyes, and a smug smile appeared on his face. The martial artists of the Sora family also looked at Ling Xiao with mockery. They seemed to think that this young man was not a big deal and that the move just now was purely a blind guess. However, right at this moment, that expert once again screamed miserably. His left arm was cut off. A cold and gloomy aura wrapped around his left arm. It turned out that Ling Xiao had hidden a shadow all in the shadow of the crimson sun all. If the master had kept his eyes open, he might have discovered it, but he closed his eyes at the beginning and was hit directly. Enough! Do you want to watch your companion be humiliated like this? Kill him. If he doesn't die, you know what will happen when you go back. Whoever kills him will be rewarded with a fine spiritual weapon and a jade elementary martial arts technique, and 1,000,000 inferior grade spiritual stones. The woman was furious when she saw the master she trusted being humiliated like this. She roared, tempting her subordinates with benefits and threatening them with punishment. She used both carrot and stick in an attempt to make the remaining dozens of people work for her. "Eldest miss, is what you said true?" One of them asked in surprise. As a martial artist at the 12th level of the Yin-Yang realm, he urgently needed a suitable weapon and a powerful martial arts technique. If he could get the reward that the woman mentioned, he would definitely become a carp that leaped over the dragon's gate and soared into the sky. The temptation was too great. There were many martial artists who had the same idea as him. Almost everyone looked eagerly at the woman, trying to get a definite answer. "Of course it's true. When have I ever gone back on my word? As long as you can kill him, I guarantee that you will get the reward you want." The woman nodded solemnly. "All right." Everyone nodded and made up their minds. Suddenly, the martial artist with broken arms flew towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a strange smile. "Using your own life to create opportunities for your companions. Your idea is not bad, but it's a pity that it doesn't mean anything to me." Ling Xiao's soul force was extremely powerful. Everything around him was under his control. This person's actions, as well as the actions of the other warriors, could not escape his soul force. That person didn't say anything and continued to accelerate towards Ling Xiao. When he was about a meter away from Ling Xiao, the corners of his mouth suddenly cracked open, revealing a sinister smile. "Die with me." There were more than a dozen thunderbolt bombs in his clothes. The power of these thunderbolt bombs could easily kill a low-level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. With more than a dozen thunderbolt bombs tied together, even a 12th or 13th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist would be blown to smithereens. This guy was worthy of being a death warrior of the Sora family. He had planned to die together with Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's face was still cold. "Cold Plum, stay away from me." Cold Plum received the order and moved hundreds of meters away in a flash. At this moment, the thunderbolt bomb exploded. The terrifying shockwave blasted several martial artists who didn't manage to dodge in time into smithereens. Other than a few pieces of clothing, there wasn't a single intact corpse. "Ha ha ha, good death! Good death!" In the sky, the woman was stunned for a moment before she started laughing maniacally. No matter what method she used, she would be satisfied as long as she killed Ling Xiao. However, the smoke from the explosion didn't disperse. Instead, it suddenly shrunk and disappeared. Ling Xiao was still standing there, perfectly fine. The martial artist who had attempted to take him down with a thunderbolt bullet was nowhere to be seen. Ding! At this moment, Ling Xiao stretched out his right hand and collided with a sharp spear. There was a sound of metal clashing. A sneak attack? Ling Xiao turned around to look at the martial artist who launched the sneak attack. It was the only survivor on the ground, the 12th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. In fact, before the smoke from the explosion dissipated, the man had already made his move to attack. He was one of the calmer ones. He knew that Ling Xiao might not have been killed by the explosion. If Ling Xiao hadn't died, he would have attacked immediately and assassinated Ling Xiao. Unfortunately, Ling Xiao was aware of the movements around him. He thought that he had seized the perfect opportunity to launch a sneak attack. However, he didn't know that Ling Xiao was already on guard against him. "Looks like you want to die too." Ling Xiao sneered. A ball of black energy was spinning in his left hand. Shadow force, shadow profundity, also known as darkness profundity. In the universe, the ultimate darkness was a black hole. It absorbed everything and devoured everything. Ling Xiao obviously couldn't create a black hole. However, he could create a small dark space that could devour energy. The explosive power of the dozen or so thunderclap bombs had all been absorbed into this black energy. This is something I discovered recently. The 12 shadow profundity, dark prison, and the 12 light profundity, light prison. You should be honored to have a taste of my brand new move. Ling Xiao's cold voice rang in the martial artist's ears. Dark prison absorbed energy. Light prison released energy. It was a perfect combination of light and shadow. Ling Xiao's left hand blasted a ball of white light at the martial artist. The energy absorbed by dark prison was completely released by light prison. The martial artist's face was filled with fear. He hurriedly shook the spear in his hand and released all the yin-yang energy in his body. He wanted to fight to the death with Ling Xiao, because he knew he couldn't escape. Once he escaped, he would die even faster. However, if he didn't escape, what would the result be? Crack! The terrifying energy released by light prison collided with the martial artist's spear. A terrifying explosive force was released, instantly shattering the spear into pieces. This was the explosive power of a dozen thunderbolt bombs and the amplification of the power of light. It was a terrifying attack. How could the martial artist block it? The martial artist finally understood that he had overestimated himself. The young man in front of him was definitely much more terrifying than he had imagined. He couldn't fight. He couldn't win even if he fought. He casually threw out a thunderbolt bomb and turned to flee. Chapter 1831. It seemed like the Sora clan could make their own thunderbolt bombs. Otherwise, how could they have so many of these expensive bombs? However, more than a dozen thunderbolt bombs failed to kill Ling Xiao. Would a mere thunderbolt bomb be useful? Of course not. Dark prison. Ling Xiao waved his right hand, and a black light swept across the thunderbolt bomb. Although the thunderbolt bomb cracked, the explosive force was completely absorbed into the dark prison. Any attack you make will only make you die more miserably. An even more terrifying attack was released from the light prison. That martial artist had only escaped 2 or 3 meters away when he was hit by this terrifying attack. His body was scattered in the wind like fragments, and not a single trace of him could be found. A 12th level yin-yang martial artist was so weak in front of Ling Xiao. This shocked the onlookers and the martial artists from the Sora clan. Was this still a 7th level yin-yang martial artist? They could not tell at all. This guy is too strong, and his moves are extremely strange. It's too much of a loss to fight him without understanding him. The martial artists from the Sora clan had already started to retreat. They hoped that the eldest miss would consider the opponent's strength and announce a retreat. It did not matter if they lost a battle. After all, the Sora clan had a strong enough foundation. Naturally, someone could defeat this guy. After all, he was not invincible. However, the eldest miss did not want to lose face. Slap! She slapped a 12th level yin-yang martial artist's face and scolded angrily. Trash! Do you want me to run away? I'm the eldest miss of the Sora clan. If I'm scared away by a little martial artist, how can I raise my head in the future? Hatred flashed across the eyes of the 12th level yin-yang martial artist, but he immediately became obedient. He knew that he could not afford to offend the Sora clan. Rather than die, he would rather be a coward. A bunch of idiots. Don't just focus on that guy. Doesn't he have 2 companions? Kill those 2 women. Let's see if he's in pain. The eldest miss of the Sora clan had obviously lost control. The successive defeats caused her to completely lose her rationality. Since she couldn't kill Ling Xiao, she would attack the two girls. She didn't believe that Ling Xiao alone could protect the two girls. Although they had temporarily lost, they still had dozens of people. You're courting death. Ling Xiao wanted to play around a little longer, but that woman actually gave the order to kill Cold Plum and Blue Snow. Right now, Blue Snow was injured. Cold Plum might be able to protect her for a while, but there were too many enemies. It would be difficult for her to protect everyone. This caused the killing intent in his heart to become even more resolute, and his gaze became even colder. Whoosh! His figure suddenly leaped up. A terrifying killing intent enveloped the woman, causing her to involuntarily shiver and almost fall from the white eagle. The woman subconsciously urged the white eagle to turn around and flee. At this moment, she no longer cared about her reputation. Bang! As Ling Xiao chased after her, he killed the cultivators and demonic beasts that were blocking him with a palm strike. That was a 10th level Yin-Yang realm cultivator. In front of him, it was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. It was completely useless. The woman was so frightened that she sped up and fled frantically. Stop him! Stop him! I'll get my father to deal with him, personally. He will definitely be killed. The woman screamed as she ran. Obviously, she didn't think that Ling Xiao was too strong, but that the people she brought were too weak. She wanted to go back and find someone stronger to kill these three fellows. Sir, you should forgive people whenever possible. You don't have to be so vicious. Our miss is just a little naughty. The people who stopped Ling Xiao were the dozens of experts from the Sora clan. They didn't listen to the woman's order to kill Cold Plum and Blue Snow. They didn't want to anger this brutal young man. Just a little naughty? Can I kill people as I wish just because I'm naughty? Ling Xiao felt that this was ridiculous. Saying that she was naughty would be fine? This was too easy for him to say. Anyway, you guys aren't dead. Why don't we just turn a big problem into a small one and end it like this? The man said again. Ha ha ha. What you said is better than singing. Didn't you hear what your miss said? She wants to go back and get reinforcements. Do you think that if I stop now, she will let us go? Ling Xiao laughed loudly, but his face became gloomier. Well, why don't you all go to the Sora clan and ask for forgiveness? Maybe the miss will be merciful and spare you. Get lost. Ling Xiao didn't want to listen anymore. This person was clearly stalling for time. I don't want to listen to any more nonsense. I'll kill whoever blocks my way. He wasn't joking. A dense killing intent shrouded the dozens of martial artists in front of him. Are you sure? We have 32 people, and you're just one person. Although you're strong, you can't win against so many people. Don't ask for trouble. Obviously, the martial artists from the Sora clan were stalling for time. They were afraid of Ling Xiao and didn't dare to attack. However, they didn't want Ling Xiao to chase after that woman. You can try. As soon as he finished speaking, Ling Xiao no longer spoke any more nonsense and shot out like a shuttle. 2 10th level Yin-Yang realm martial artists urged their demonic beasts to hold up 2 huge shields in an attempt to block him. However, the corner of Ling Xiao's mouth only curled into a disdainful smile, and his speed instantly increased. In that instant, his entire person actually transformed into a human-shaped giant sword. Tai Chi sword physique. Light and shadow evasion. Crack! There was a crisp sound in the sky. The sturdy-looking shields were instantly torn into pieces by the Tai Chi sword physique. The 2 martial artists and their mounts, who were blocking Ling Xiao, were also cut in half. Their lives were instantly cut off. Stop him! If anything happens to the miss, we'll all die. Although this terrifying scene frightened many people, compared to Ling Xiao, it was obvious that the Sora clan gave them more pressure. Therefore, they had to stop Ling Xiao even if they had to risk their lives. The remaining 30 people actually formed a thick human wall. The yin and yang elemental energy gathered together, forming a shield that was completely condensed from elemental energy. Bang! Ling Xiao's Tai Chi sword physique crashed onto the Origin Force shield and bounced back. Damn! A shield formation formed by 30 martial artists above the 10th level of Yin-Yang realm is indeed powerful. Ling Xiao wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with a cold expression. Go back, young man. You can't break through our defense. The leading martial artist looked at Ling Xiao proudly. He seemed to be very satisfied with the Origin Force shield that they formed. I can't break through it. Ling Xiao chuckled. I don't believe it. After comparing their strengths, Ling Xiao felt that he still had the ability to directly break the other party's elemental energy shield. Chapter 1832. At that moment, a layer of silver-white bone armor covered Ling Xiao's body, making him look like a skeleton general that walked out of hell. His strength and speed were greatly enhanced at that moment. 1,200 Empress of Heaven-Earth cells. Release. Terrifying greenish-yellow energy burst out from the cells and surrounded Ling Xiao's body. A shield formed by 30 pieces of trash is still trash. Ling Xiao entered the Tai Chi sword body form again. Then he wrapped himself in 1,200 Royal Earth Queen cells and drilled out like a huge drill. At the tip of the drill, a terrifyingly high temperature was constantly being released. With the power of the Scarlet Sun, the power of the Imperial Earth Queen, and the boost from the Hell Physique, this attack was much stronger than before. Bang! Ling Xiao's body once again crashed into the elemental energy shield. Although he didn't penetrate the shield instantly, he wasn't sent flying either. His body started to spin at high speed, and the temperature at the tip of the Tai Chi sword body became more and more terrifying. The surrounding air became hot because of this. At a certain moment, a hole was drilled out of the huge elemental energy shield with a PU sound. Ling Xiao went through and pierced through 7 or 8 people's bodies before he slowly stopped. The martial artists who were pierced by him all burned up. They fell to the ground and struggled in pain. It seemed like they wouldn't survive. This guy is too scary. We're not his match. Let's hide first. I think the eldest young mistress has already arrived at the clan. Finally, someone was frightened by Ling Xiao and didn't dare to attack casually anymore. They didn't even dare to stop him. Although 8 of the 30 people died, there were still 22 people left. It wasn't a small number. However, their fighting spirit had already been destroyed beyond recognition by Ling Xiao. I agree. Only experts at the 13th level of the Yin-Yang realm can deal with a mid-level expert. We can't do it at all. Let's go. All right, just get out of the way. Young Miss is safe anyway. The leader looked at Ling Xiao and said, We let you stay with good intentions because we don't want you to die. But you don't know how to cherish it. Since that's the case, you can go. We won't stop you. However, Ling Xiao did not move. He turned around and looked at the remaining 20 people with a cold smile on his face. You think you can stop me now that you've completed your mission, right? How could there be such a good thing in this world? From the moment you tried to stop me, you should have known that you would be killed. You people have delayed my revenge. All of you can go to hell. The Golden Crow incarnation. In an instant, Ling Xiao's body transformed into a giant golden crow. With a swipe of his claws, the 2 warriors closest to him died in the raging inferno. Their bodies burned into charcoal. Golden Crow, rising sun. He used his own body to perform the Golden Crow rises above the sun, soared chi and flames that blotted out the sky, instantly enveloped the entire sky. Ah, I regret it so much. I don't want to die. The warriors from the Songjing family thought they were smart. They thought that by stopping Ling Xiao and letting their eldest young mistress escape, they could save their lives and complete their mission. Unfortunately, they were wrong. They did not know Ling Xiao at all. Since they could not kill the culprit, They had to kill these fellows who were blocking their way. The giant golden crow slaughtered wantonly in the crowd. In the blink of an eye, all the 10th and 11th level yin-yang realm martial artists were dead. These martial artists scattered. No one was a match for soaring firmament strike. There were 5 12th level yin-yang realm martial artists left. Run in different directions. The 5 of them were scared out of their wits. Facing the terrifying Ling Xiao, they no longer had the courage to fight. The 5 of them ran in 5 different directions. Can you escape? Ling Xiao looked at the 5 figures coldly. Then the golden crow opened its golden mouth, and the martial Tao Crimson Sun all shot out. The Crimson Sun, all released by the golden crow, was naturally more powerful and had a terrifying slaughter sword essence. Chi, 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 chi. 5 Crimson Sun alls killed 5 warriors. None of them escaped. The crowd was completely stunned. This young man, who looked like he was only 17 years old, actually had such terrifying strength. How in the world did he cultivate? Could he be a disciple of some large sect in the 4 great empires? If that was the case, it would explain why he dared to offend the warriors from the Songjing family. After killing them, Ling Xiao was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he returned to his original form and started to collect the items. The 7 12th level yin-yang realm martial artists who died all had storage rings on them. The demonic beasts that were killed also had demonic beast crystal cores in their bodies. He put all of them into his storage ring. All right, we can go now. That Songjing family woman got lucky. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, did not continue to chase after that woman because he still had some self-awareness. As one of the 4 major families in the isolated Thunderland, the Songjing family controlled the Songjing Temple and had countless experts in their family. If he chased after her recklessly, he would be walking right into a trap. It was better to leave this troublesome place as soon as possible. It was fine if he was alone, but if Cold Plum and Blue Snow were here, it would be troublesome if they were targeted by the top experts of the Songjing family. Although the other party's men were all dead, Ling Xiao was still very cautious. In this world, money made the world go round. No one could guarantee that the onlookers did not leak information to the Songjing family. Therefore, Ling Xiao turned and entered the Thunderclap City after running for some distance. Although the Thunderclap City was not big, there were many people inside. During the White Tiger meet, it would be the biggest trading market. There were too many martial artists coming and going. Even if someone wanted to keep an eye on him, it would not be that easy. In the Thunderclap City, Ling Xiao separated from Cold Plum and Blue Snow and reappeared in everyone's sight. Does the Songjing family dare to make a move in the Thunderclap City? Ling Xiao really did not know. After all, the Songjing family was too overbearing. Although this was the Zhengyi school's territory, there was no guarantee that they would not dare to make a move. Ling Xiao blended into the crowd and used the Yin-Yang Demon King's ability to change his appearance and aura. In this way, he completely disappeared from everyone's sight. After about 15 minutes, the woman from the Songjing family really came. There was a 14th level Yin-Yang stage powerhouse standing beside her. In addition, there were 6 13th level Yin-Yang realm martial artists. These 7 people were fewer in number than before, but they were much more powerful. People of the Thunderclap City, listen up. Just now, a criminal attacked the eldest miss of the Songjing family. This person is extremely vicious and killed dozens of martial artists of the Songjing family. Someone saw him enter the Thunderclap City, so we have to identify him one by one. If anyone notices someone you don't know, report it immediately. Otherwise, don't blame us for being rude. The person who spoke was the 14th level Yin-Yang realm expert. Chapter 1833. The words of the Songjing family's master made the faces of many warriors in the thunder-shocking city turn ugly. He actually wanted to interrogate everyone in the city. The people of the Sora family are too overbearing, aren't they? Humph! Don't say that they're overbearing. They have the strength. If the Sora family doesn't allow it, the Thunder City of Genie School won't be placed here. I don't know which idiot offended the Sora family and caused us to suffer like this. It's really depressing. The people were discussing animatedly. Although they were very unhappy, they didn't dare to offend the Sora family and obediently accepted the interrogation of the warriors of the Sora family. Instead, they vented their anger on the person who provoked the Sora family. The warriors of Genie School in Thunder City seemed to be deaf. They didn't do anything about it, as if they were prepared to let the Sora family make trouble here. Jinren Peng, are we just going to let the Sora family make trouble? In a spacious room deep in Thunder City, a young disciple of Genie School said indignantly to Jinren Peng, who was in charge of Thunder City. Of course, if you want to destroy them, you have to make them crazy first. Jinren Peng stroked his beard with a smile and said, the 4 great families of the land of infinite thunder can be said to be united against a common enemy. Offending any family will provoke the other 3 families, so our Genie School didn't do that. Moreover, they deliberately flattered them, making them forget themselves and think that they are the best in the world. Don't worry, this is just the beginning. Over the years, they have offended countless warriors. As long as they suffer setbacks, countless people will come forward to trample on them. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. We just lose a little face. How much is face worth? If we have the strength, we can get it back immediately. Jinren Peng, you have foresight. I admire you. The young Genie sect disciple finally understood why the Genie sect was able to grow so quickly in the White Tiger continent and become the only officially designated sect in just over a decade. This was low-key development and foresight. Inside and outside the Thunderclap City, many people were watching. It seemed that they wanted to know which bastard dared to provoke the Songjing family, which was a giant force. TSK, TSK, even a 14th level Yin-Yang stage powerhouse is here. Looks like the person who offended the Songjing clan isn't a simple person. Someone noticed the expert beside the young miss and couldn't help but sigh. I'm guessing that he's a genius participating in the White Tiger store meet. Other people wouldn't be so stupid. It's a pity that no matter what kind of genius he is, he's not far from death after provoking such a giant. That's right. Why do you have to court death? Can't you just live properly? However, after a full hour, the masters of the Aoi family led a group of warriors to interrogate almost everyone in the Thunder City except for the disciples of the Genie School. However, it didn't seem to be as effective as he had imagined. Where is he? The eldest daughter of the Aoi family suddenly grabbed the passerby who had tipped her off and questioned, How dare you lie to me? Do you know how serious the consequences are? Being bullied by others. This young miss was already full of anger. If anyone dared to tease her, she would definitely not be merciful. The passerby almost wet his pants in fear and said with trepidation, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare lie to you. Those 3 people did enter Thunder City. They didn't go out? Definitely not. My friends are helping to keep an eye on them. The man hurriedly replied, Humph, as long as he's still in Thunder City, he can forget about escaping. Send people to guard the front and back gates of Thunder City. No one is allowed to go out. The woman snorted coldly. What about the people of the Genie School? The subordinate next to her asked. Nonsense. The Genie School is no exception. What if that guy pretends to be a disciple of the Genie School and escapes? The woman's rudeness had reached a certain level. She had offended Ling Xiao. After all, Ling Xiao didn't look that strong. However, she dared to offend the Genie School. Did she really think that no one in the Aoi family could deal with her? She was stupid to a certain level. Yes, madam. The 14th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist guarding the woman nodded and turned around to give the order. However, at this moment, he suddenly felt a strong sense of crisis. The crisis came inexplicably. He couldn't even tell where it came from, but it was so terrifying. He believed in his intuition, so he shouted without looking back. "Be careful, madam." When the woman heard this voice, she was stunned for a moment. Before she could react to why, he suddenly shouted. Her neck was pinched by a big cold hand. "You! Who are you?" The woman looked at the burly man in front of her in horror. Wasn't this the passerby who had tipped her off? Why did he suddenly attack her? "I'm just a poor passerby. I was kind enough to tip you off. What do you take me for? A servant of your family?" The man looked at the woman coldly. One of his hands was like a clamp, firmly holding the woman's neck, not giving her any chance to escape. In fact, he was Ling Xiao after changing his face. Ling Xiao was worried that Cold Plum and Blue Snow would be interrogated and found out, so he took this measure. To catch bandits, first catch the ringleader. Didn't you want to find me? I'll make you all a mess first. The woman could feel the cold aura of death coming from the big hand. She wanted to struggle, but she didn't move because she felt that if she moved even a little, her head might be separated from her body. Since the day she was born, she was the high and mighty young lady of the Aoi family. No one had ever dared to hit her, let alone kill her. Now she was so close to death. Not only was she terrified, but she also felt endless regret. She regretted not killing this guy earlier and giving him a chance to launch a sneak attack. She didn't reflect on her attitude and her arrogant personality at all. Whoosh! Suddenly, a gust of wind blew, and a terrifying killing intent enveloped Ling Xiao. It was the 14th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. He suddenly attacked and wanted to kill Ling Xiao. No. The woman screamed in horror because she felt that the big hand had obviously tightened a lot the moment she attacked. Her neck was about to be broken. She screamed with all her might. Although her voice was a little hoarse, she couldn't allow anyone to anger this person. Otherwise, she would really die. You can do whatever you want. I guarantee that her neck will be broken before you kill me. Ling Xiao looked at the expert with contempt. Not to mention that he had a hostage in his hands. Even if he didn't have a hostage, he wasn't afraid of such a martial artist at all. He was naturally very calm in front of such a person. Chapter 1834. Stop. Don't be impulsive. Whether you want money or something else, as long as the young lady is fine, we can satisfy you. The master finally panicked. He could see that Ling Xiao was serious, and he could also see that the young lady of the Aoi family's neck was about to be broken. The rest of the Aoi family's martial artists also looked gloomy and angry, but they couldn't do anything. The other party had a hostage, so they could only hold back. And they could also see that this guy was a madman who absolutely dared to kill the young lady. I don't want money, and I don't care about anything else. Ask your patriarch to come over and apologize to me in front of everyone, and swear that he will never trouble me. That's all. Ling Xiao looked at the master lightly and said, Do you think I don't know where your Aoi family is? If you let her go now, I'll die very quickly. Although I'm not very strong, I'm not stupid. That's impossible. Do you know what nonsense you're talking about? How can the patriarch of the Aoi family apologize to a waste like you, let alone swear? Don't be delusional. The master didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Was this person crazy? Did he really think that he could control everything by taking a hostage? Didn't he know the patriarch? When that guy went crazy, he didn't even recognize his own family. Do you think I'm talking nonsense? So you mean that it doesn't matter if this woman dies? Ling Xiao smiled and gently scratched the woman's neck with his fingernails. A wound suddenly dripped with red blood. Don't be impulsive. Don't be impulsive. I'll send someone to the family to talk about this. You have to calm down. Killing the young lady is not good for you and me. The master hurriedly shouted. Immediately after, he called someone over and instructed, Go back and report everything that happened here to the patriarch. Tell him everything in detail. Yes. The martial artist turned and left. Is it okay now? Do you have any other requests? The man asked. Request? Well, let me think about it. All of you kneel down and tie your hands," Ling Xiao said with a smile. "Isn't this request too much?" Those people were not mediocre. Their strength was very powerful. How could they casually kneel down in front of a warrior whose name they did not even know? Crack! Suddenly, Ling Xiao patted the woman's arm. With a crisp sound, the woman's arm broke. "Kneel," he said coldly. "Hurry up and kneel." The 14th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist hurriedly ordered everyone to kneel down before tying his own hands. This scene really made many martial artists in Thunderclap City dumbfounded. The dignified Aoi family had never suffered such grievances. Today, they were frightened by an unknown passerby. How embarrassing! Many of them actually wanted to laugh. They all knew how overbearing and unreasonable the Aoi family was. Many of them had even been humiliated before. Today, seeing the Aoi family so humiliated, they were really happy and comfortable. "I'll return this woman to you. I'll take my leave first." The reason why Ling Xiao asked everyone to kneel down and tie their own hands was just to stall for time. Also, asking the Aoi family's patriarch to apologize was just to distract them. He did not believe that the Aoi family's patriarch would kneel down to him for a woman. He actually only had one purpose, which was to kill this woman and escape. The plan was going smoothly. Ling Xiao directly pushed the woman out. Then he turned into a stream of light and disappeared into the crowd. Without Cold Plum and Blue Snow, it was much easier for him to escape. It was impossible for him to be targeted. The Aoi family's martial artists were obviously stunned. After a while, the expert was the first to react. "You guys protect the young lady. I'll go after him." However, as soon as he finished speaking, a violent explosion suddenly sounded in Thunderclap City. The body of the eldest daughter of the Aoi family exploded. That poor woman did not realize that her arrogance and rudeness had brought a fatal disaster to herself when she was dying. Ling Xiao could have escaped long ago, just like Cold Plum and Blue Snow. Don't forget, he had the time crystal and the 10,000 gate array. A short distance transmission was absolutely possible. Cold Plum and Blue Snow had already left Thunderclap City and were waiting for him outside. The reason why he wanted to stay was for no other reason than to show the Aoi family his power. That woman had repeatedly sent people to kill him. If he just blindly escaped, it would be impossible to escape. Now, the people who knew the true faces of the three of them, at least the people of the Aoi family, were all dead. Although Aoi Fei had once exchanged blows with Cold Plum, at that time he went to save the young lady in a hurry and did not see Ling Xiao and Blue Snow at all. Lang Mei, on the other hand, would never reveal her true face in battle. So Aoi Fei did not know it was the three of them. As for the passers-by, probably no one would want to get involved in this mess, especially since there was no benefit to snitching and they had to be afraid. Who would be stupid enough to snitch? Moreover, they had no evidence. Now, even if the three of them walked openly on the streets, they did not have to worry about being chased by the Aoi family. That young lady's explosion not only killed herself, but it also killed a few martial artists who were close to her. This caused the 14th level Yin-Yang stage powerhouse's expression to be extremely unsightly. His young lady was actually killed in front of him. What a huge sin this was. He frantically soared into the sky to search for traces of that despicable fellow. But how could he find him? Somewhere, Ling Xiao, Cold Plum, and Blue Snow had already met up. Blue Snow lowered her head and seemed to be a little unhappy. Ling Xiao smiled as he looked at her and asked, "Do you think I was too ruthless?" Blue Snow did not answer, but her expression was obviously a little unnatural. Ling Xiao smiled and said, "It's very normal. That's because, even though you went through painful things as a child, you are still kind and honest. You have to know that you have no choice in this world. If you don't kill others, others will kill you. Don't forget that we begged them to let us go in the beginning, but what did they do? They wanted to kill us. Maybe you think she is young and only did such a stupid thing because she is naughty. But you have to remember that such people are even scarier because they don't have any sense of right or wrong. She thinks that killing people is just a fun game. She won't feel guilty even if she kills you. It's just like stepping on an ant. Therefore, you don't have to feel guilty. Chapter 1835. Ling Xiao wasn't willing to tell Blue Snow these heavy words. After all, she was still a 12-year-old girl. It wasn't appropriate for her to experience such cruelty so early. However, since he had to say it today, he had to say it. Otherwise, one day, Blue Snow would die tragically because of her compassion and compassion. It would be too late to regret it then. Big brother, I understand. Although there was still some confusion in Blue Snow's eyes, she at least understood one thing. Ling Xiao wasn't heartless by nature. It was because he had to do it. Only by doing so could they avoid a lot of dangers and allow everyone to survive. Slowly experience it. At least you won't be hurt by following me now. However, one day, you will spread your wings and fly high. Ling Xiao gently patted Blue Snow's head. Thinking back, he had also walked the same path. With the help of friends, he had tempered his current resolute and decisive character. In the Tsongjing Temple, a middle-aged man was sitting cross-legged in an ancestral hall. He seemed to be chanting scriptures. When the middle-aged man was chanting, there seemed to be an endless stream of immortal power surging into his body from the statue in the ancestral hall. It's been tens of thousands of years. It's time for revenge for my Tsongjing clan. Human monarch, your sacred dynasty has been destroyed. I will make sure your descendants don't have peace. A terrifying, ferocious expression suddenly appeared on his face. His powerful aura shook the entire ancestral hall. Perhaps this was the kind of expert that could move the heavens. In the past, the seniors of the Tsongjing clan were tired of the human monarch's rule. They cooperated with the heavenly demons and planned to rebuild the order of the mystic world. However, this myriad lightning immortal slaying array destroyed all of their clan's hard work. Fortunately, the human monarch pretended to be benevolent and didn't kill their clan. Instead, he gave them a chance to atone for their sins and allowed their descendants to guard the myriad lightning desolate ground for generations. Did the human monarch think they would appreciate it? What a joke! Their Tsongjing clan wasn't a child. They wouldn't forget their hatred just because they were given some benefits. Who's outside? Suddenly, his face turned cold as he asked outside, Patriarch, it's me. Hoodlum? The middle-aged man frowned and asked, I feel that your aura is unstable and you're anxious. What happened? Standing outside the door was Sora Aoi. His expression was extremely ugly. Previously in the dense forest, he was lucky enough to save eldest Mississippi. He thought that she would be able to stay at home peacefully. But who would have thought that eldest Miss would bring another group of people to seek revenge? In the end, his body was trembling, and his heart was beating faster, as if it was going to jump out of his body. What are you being so shy about? Speak, the middle-aged man shouted. Plop! Sora Aoi knelt down and cried, young miss has been killed. Since the patriarch would know the truth sooner or later, Sora Jingfei decided to tell him the truth. Boom! The door of the ancestral hall suddenly exploded. Sora Takei couldn't control his body and was sent flying, crashing into the wall. However, he did not dare to resist, nor did he dare to shout out loud. After falling to the ground, he was still kneeling. Dead. His most beloved daughter was dead. This was a huge blow to him. The patriarch of the Sora clan was extremely furious. At this moment, he wanted to destroy the entire mystic world. Who? Who did it? The middle-aged man roared. His breath was like a gust of wind, causing Sora Aoi to tremble. After all, Sora Aoi was a 15th level Yin-Yang realm expert. He was trembling with fear in front of this middle-aged man. How terrifying was this person? We don't know who did it. Sora Alwaymeng saw eldest miss being killed by that person with his own eyes. Her body was torn into pieces, and there wasn't even a complete corpse left. Sora Alway knew that if he said this, the middle-aged man would be even more furious. But he didn't dare to lie. If he lied, he would lose his life. Sora Alwaymeng? He's a 14th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. But he couldn't catch someone who dared to hurt my precious daughter? The middle-aged man was even more furious. A gust of wind raged, and the ancestral hall was almost completely destroyed. The thick trees on the ground were uprooted. The terrifying aura lasted for an entire 15 minutes, and the courtyard was a mess. The middle-aged man said, "Ask Sora Alway Fan to assist him. If he can't find that person, bring his head to me. Also, don't kill him. I want to see him alive and let him suffer the most painful torture in this time. Only then can the hatred in my heart be dispelled." Understood. Why don't I go as well? Sora Alway thought for a moment and said, "Just focus on participating in the white tiger meet. Don't worry about anything else." Yes. Sora Alway's forehead was covered in cold sweat. He didn't know which idiot dared to offend the Sora clan and cause him to be so frightened. Although the eldest miss was overbearing and rude in the past and had killed many innocent people, the Sora clan members didn't take this matter seriously, because they thought that no one dared to make a move against the Sora clan. Even the eldest miss, who had been spoiled since she was young, had never felt that her actions were wrong. It was as if other people's lives were cheap and her life was noble. Ling Xiao didn't know what had happened to the Sora clan. In reality, even if he knew, he wouldn't be afraid. He dared to kill that woman, so he dared to bear the consequences. It was just that they had already left the central camp for nearly 2 hours. The martial artists who had entered the Myriad Thunder Extreme Ground should have returned by now. After all, the White Tiger meet was about to begin. They definitely needed to prepare in advance and take a good rest. When they returned to the Heavenly Sea Empire's camp, sure enough, they found Heavenly Sea Tyranny's aura. That guy was still in the ship's cabin, discussing something with the Crown Princess. Stop pretending. At the end of the day, you just have more resources than others and are a little stronger than others. If you don't care about others, I'm afraid that when you lose, everyone will kick you when you're down. Ling Xiao glanced at the ship's cabin in disdain. Just as he was about to return to his own pavilion to rest, he saw the martial prince walk over. His tone was very unfriendly. "Where did you 3 go?" "We went out for a walk." "What's wrong?" Ling Xiao asked back. "You clearly know that the White Tiger meet is about to begin, yet you're still so undisciplined. You have no respect for the rules," the martial prince said angrily. "Haha, are you talking to me?" Ling Xiao looked at the martial prince indifferently and said, "If you want to talk about disregarding the rules, shouldn't it be the 2 in the ship's cabin? When have they ever obeyed the rules?" "Humph! You're just a martial artist from the Dragon Phoenix continent. Since when are you worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as His Highness the Crown Prince?" The martial prince snorted. Chapter 1836. Whether I'm worthy or not is not up to you. Trash! Ling Xiao suddenly stepped forward and stepped on Prince Wu, coldly saying, "You'd best show some respect in front of me, or else I won't care if you're a prince or not. I'll kill you all the same." If it weren't for the fact that he didn't want to cause internal strife, Ling Xiao would have directly killed this bastard. He wouldn't have kept him alive. He had always thought that since they were all martial artists representing the Sky Sea Empire, they should be more united. However, Sacred Sword Wind Demon had provoked him before, and now Prince Wu was making things difficult for him. He clearly didn't treat him as one of his own. "Young Hero Ling, please calm down. Please calm down." Prince Yun walked out and hurriedly said with a smile, "Young Hero Ling, my big brother was just anxious. We just learned the general rules of the White Tiger meet from some acquaintances. Although 10 years have passed and there might be some changes, the principles remain the same. It's always good to listen and prepare." Wouldn't it have been better if you said that earlier? Let's hear it. Ling Xiao shifted his right foot. He still had to give face to Prince Yun. After all, this was his spy. Please board the airship. His Highness the Crown Prince and all the participating martial artists have arrived. Prince Yun said. Okay. Ling Xiao didn't say anything else. He directly boarded the airship and went to the deck. Of the 35 participants from the Sky Sea Empire, aside from Tyranny Heavenly Sea and the Crown Princess, everyone else was already waiting. Ling Xiao, Blue Snow, and Cold Plum naturally walked over to stand beside Danfeng and the others. All right, now that everyone is here, let me explain the rules of the White Tiger Store meet. Sun Lingchan smiled at Ling Xiao. Many people had urged her to say it in advance, so they didn't need to wait for Ling Xiao. However, she still waited for Ling Xiao to return. Since they were allies, they had to act like allies. The White Tiger meet is an opportunity, but also a trap. Sun Lingchan's expression turned solemn. Every martial artist who comes here to participate can become stronger through the White Tiger Tempest meet. They can leave their peers in the dust by a large margin. However, there weren't many who made it out alive. Although I really wanted all 35 of them to be alive by the time the White Tiger meet ended, I didn't want to. But that could only be a delusion. However, the greater the risk, the greater the opportunity. If you can survive, then you will definitely become the most dazzling star in the White Tiger continent. He might even become the absolute overlord of the White Tiger continent in the future. No one doubted this point because all the cultivators who had participated in the previous White Tiger Storm meet had made great progress in their cultivation as long as they had survived. It is said that the organizing committee has the most advanced treasure testing apparatus imported from the Divine Secrets continent. You will know at a glance. Sun Lingchan glanced at Ling Xiao and continued. In the treasure hunt battle, there is a special rule that will affect the following finals. That is, according to the results of this battle, the finals will be divided into 2 groups. The strongest against the weakest. The second against the second to last. So on and so forth. Of course, those who can enter the finals will not be easy to deal with, so you don't need to worry too much about this. The second round is actually simple. Someone laughed. Simple? Sun Lingchan glanced at that person and said, the treasures of the primordial ruins are not so easy to find. Not only do you have to face the monsters guarding the ruins, but you also have to face the sneak attacks of other martial artists. Do you really think it's simple? That person immediately shut his mouth. Hearing this, the second round of the treasure hunt battle might be even more terrifying than the first round of the blood purgatory battle. The rules of the finals are even simpler. It is a real battle. There is no need for me to say more, right? Everyone nodded, indicating that they understood. Those who could participate in the White Tiger meet were no fools. How could there be anyone who didn't understand? All right, since you all understand, then I have nothing more to say. Everyone go back and prepare. First, get through the blood purgatory battle. As long as you get through it, even if you don't experience a battle, you will reap great rewards. I don't want anyone to quit midway. First, it would be embarrassing, and second, it would be a waste of a spot. In the end, Sun Lingchan was a martial artist of the Tianhai Empire. He was still very considerate of the Tianhai Empire. On this point, Ling Xiao was different. Ling Xiao only had the Tianhai Empire in his heart. Chapter 1837. Okay, if there are no other questions, you can go back and prepare. Sun Lingchan had done what she should have done. She had done all she could. If someone refused to listen to her and insisted on going their own way, then when they died, they couldn't blame her. No more. Most of them shook their heads. Sun Lingchan's words were very clear. There was nothing to be confused about. There are no more questions, but this prince has a good suggestion. Suddenly, a cold voice came from the cabin. It was Heavenly Sea Tyranny. What suggestion does your highness have? Everyone was very curious. Heavenly Sea Tyranny had refused to show up, but now he had a suggestion. How interesting. My suggestion is actually very simple. In a blood purgatory battle, I'm afraid that it's impossible to guarantee the safety of all the martial artists. The weak will naturally die, and the strong may not survive. Therefore, this battle must be fought with strategy. Heavenly Sea Tyranny said indifferently, and this strategy is actually very simple. We need some cannon fodder, some martial artists to act as a barrier. Cannon fodder? Hearing Heavenly Sea Tyranny's words, many of the martial artists felt their hearts jump. They clearly understood Heavenly Sea Tyranny's thoughts. Save the majority of the martial artists, and when it was necessary, let the cannon fodder die. This was Heavenly Sea Empire's crown prince's usual style. Then, who is suitable to be the cannon fodder? Sun Lingchan frowned. I'm afraid no one is willing. That's not up to them. Since I'm representing Heavenly Sea Empire, this prince has the right to make the decision. Heavenly Sea Tyranny snorted. How tyrannical. How ruthless. Whoever you want to die, they'll die. Your Highness is extremely correct. At this time, no one can be selfish. We must think for the good of the Empire. Your Highness's suggestion might be the best way to reduce the deaths of our Heavenly Sea Empire's experts as much as possible. Sacred Sword Wind Devil flattered Heavenly Sea Tyranny. That was true. Without Heavenly Sea Tyranny, he might have been killed by Ling Xiao along the way, and he wouldn't have survived until now. Then, how about letting trash, like you be the cannon fodder? Ling Xiao suddenly looked at Sacred Sword Wind Devil and said coldly, You, Sacred Sword of Wind Demon, looked at Ling Xiao and wanted to be angry. But when he touched his swollen face, he did not dare to make a sound. Seeing that he was silent, Ling Xiao turned to the cabin and said, Your Highness, I don't care if you like to use people as cannon fodder. If an idiot like the Sacred Sword of the Wind Devil wants to be your cannon fodder, I can't do anything about it. But it's impossible for my people to get involved. We represent the Celestial Empire, not your Tianhai Empire. Let's go. It was impossible for Ling Xiao to let any of the Heavenly Dynasty Empire's martial artists be cannon fodder. If they didn't have the ability to kill them, then that was another matter altogether. However, Ling Xiao couldn't do something like letting his comrades be cannon fodder. Stop! Heavenly Ocean Tyranny's voice was cold. Ling Xiao, you need to think clearly. If you keep those trash around, they'll drag you down sooner or later. Hell blood wars are about killing each other. Do you think you'll be able to protect everyone? If I can't protect them, then that's another matter. But to let your comrades become cannon fodder is worse than an animal. Even if they die, they should die bravely, not be betrayed by their own people and die with regret. Ling Xiao spoke in a neither servile nor overbearing tone. He admitted that he couldn't protect everyone, nor did he plan on doing such a thing. It was just that he really couldn't betray his own people. Soft-hearted, if you dare to leave today, then after Hell Blood Wars, our Tianhai Empire will no longer be your ally. If we see you, we'll definitely kill you. Heavenly Ocean Tyranny said coldly. The reason why he didn't kill Ling Xiao was because the rules didn't allow it, and also because he wanted to keep Ling Xiao as cannon fodder as a shield. Ling Xiao actually didn't agree. For the sake of a few trash lives, he actually went against his will. How could he not be angry? Heavenly Ocean Tyranny, you should think carefully before you speak. Originally, I didn't plan on moving against the Tianhai Empire's martial artists. After all, we're still allies for now. If you say so, then after Hell Blood Wars, I definitely won't be merciful to the Tianhai Empire's martial artists. You'd best keep an eye on that Wind Devil Holy Sword. He's someone I must kill. Ling Xiao had no intention of backing down. Impudent, you dare look down on this crown prince? Heavenly Ocean Tyranny had lived for so long, but he had never seen someone who didn't know when to back down. This crown prince didn't kill you because the rules don't allow it. Do you really think this crown prince doesn't dare to kill you? I don't think so. Ling Xiao glanced at Heavenly Ocean Tyranny indifferently. Perhaps you're used to being a crown prince, ordering everyone around. You have the strength to be arrogant, but in the end, you're just a yin-yang realm martial artist. You're not even a rebirth realm martial artist. What are you trying to act like a big shot in front of me? Both of you should stop talking. Unite! Unite! Xiao Budian said with a grin. He was clearly rejoicing in their misfortune and was very excited, but his mouth was calling for unity. This guy was also someone who wanted to see the world burn. Heavenly Empire's martial artists, follow me. Ling Xiao felt that there was nothing left to talk about with Heavenly Ocean Tyranny. This person had wild ambitions. He actually raised a Night Devil King in an attempt to overthrow the White Tiger continent. He also hated him. There was no possibility of reconciliation or an alliance, so he felt that it might be better for him to act separately from this guy in the upcoming White Tiger Summit. Whoever wants to die, follow him. This crown prince guarantees that he won't live past the first Hellblood War. Heavenly Ocean Tyranny suddenly released a terrifying aura from the cabin, enveloping the entire ship. Boom! A terrifying sword chi broke through the air. Ling Xiao turned his head to look in the direction of the cabin, using his own sword intent to clash with Heavenly Ocean Tyranny's aura. Do you really think you can do whatever you want? Ling Xiao's aura wasn't any weaker than Heavenly Ocean Tyranny's. While everyone was watching the show, a flock of white eagles suddenly flew down from the sky. Those were the Sora clan's exclusive flying mounts. Not only were they fast, they also had a certain level of combat strength. Experts were as common as the clouds on the eagles. The Sora clan had actually found their way here. On the ship, some people didn't understand, but others were well aware. Someone had seen Ling Xiao kill the Sora clan's martial artists outside the Myriad Thunder desolate ground. And this person was one of the 35 participating martial artists from the Heavenly Ocean Empire. He was the Wind Devil Holy Sword. He had a huge grudge against Ling Xiao. Others might not betray Ling Xiao, but the Wind Devil Holy Sword was exactly what they wanted. If he wasn't worried that the Sora clan would take their anger out on him, he would have already reported it to the Sora Temple. Today, as long as the Sora clan brought up the matter of finding the young Mrs. Murderer, he would definitely betray Ling Xiao. He believed that the Crown Prince and Crown Princess would be very happy to do so. Chapter 1838. Today, an earth-shattering event happened outside the Wanlei Extreme Place. The eldest miss of the Songjing clan was killed by an evil person. Her corpse is nowhere to be found. If any one of you saw what the suspect looks like, the Songjing clan will reward you handsomely. A cold voice came from the sky. The sacred sword of Wind Demon did not care about the reward. As long as he could kill Ling Xiao, he would do anything. He was about to speak when Sun Lingchan said coldly, Songjing clan, how impressive. Do you know that this is the Tianhai Empire's camp? So what if I know? The person in the sky asked. If you know, then get down here. Sun Lingchan shouted coldly. He raised his right hand and shot out a silver needle. In the sky, a martial artist at the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm was shot down along with his mount. He fell to the ground and died. The Songjing clan thought that no one dared to provoke them in the Wanlei Extreme Place, so no one outside dared to provoke them. However, they did not realize that the 4 empires and Jinni's school who came to participate in the White Tiger meet were not to be trifled with. How dare you! The Songjing clan martial artists were really unlucky today. So many of them were killed, and now they came to investigate, but all they encountered were arrogant and unruly genius martial artists. No one would give them face, especially when they were flying high in the sky. It was even more disgusting. Didn't you hear that I told you to get down here and talk? Do you really want to die? Another voice came from the Yuelang Empire's camp, which was near the Tianhai Empire's camp. Then a figure flew into the sky. He was like a giant wolf. Then a 12th level of the Yinyang realm martial artist was killed. The one who attacked was the Yuelang Empire's Prince Tianlang. Get down. The Songjing clan saw that the situation was bad. They were here to find the suspect who killed the eldest miss, not to be enemies with these people. If they really fought, it would trigger a war between the 4 great families, the 4 empires, and the Genie School. They could not bear the responsibility. Although they lost 2 martial artists, it was because of their negligence. Genie School's spiritual master Peng could ignore them and make them go crazy. However, none of these young geniuses were easy to deal with. The leader ordered everyone to land. Then he cupped his hands and said, "If my actions just now offended you, please forgive me. It's just that the young lady of the Sora family was killed. I was so anxious that I forgot my manners. The suspect you're looking for isn't here." Heavenly Wolf, young master, said coldly, "Wait." The sacred sword of the wind demon couldn't wait any longer. He felt that he was a true hero if he stood out now. For the sake of a mere Ling Xiao, it was unwise for the Tianhai Empire to become enemies with the Songjing clan. Have you seen this young hero before? The warriors of the Songjing family were pleasantly surprised. As long as you point out those people, our Songjing family will definitely reward you handsomely. Hearing the wind demon's sacred sword's words, Ling Xiao knew that he would not be able to escape today. He had originally thought that he could keep it a secret until the end of the White Tiger meet. However, he didn't expect to be betrayed by his own people. Yes, this guy wasn't considered one of his own people. He had been enemies with him ever since they were in Tianhai City. Now he had betrayed him in front of everyone. It seemed like his vow to kill this person wasn't wrong at all. If this guy was alive, he would definitely be in endless trouble. Ling Xiao, Cold Plum, Blue Snow. If the 3 of you have any guts, then stand out. Don't be like cowards. Especially you, Ling Xiao. A man should take responsibility for his own actions. Don't let others be your shield. The sacred sword of the wind demon looked at Ling Xiao and the others. He very clearly called out the names of Ling Xiao, Blue Snow, and Cold Plum. What a righteous sacred sword of the wind demon. You're not bad at all. Ling Xiao smiled at the sacred sword of the wind demon. The killing intent in his smile was even thicker. Not only did he want to kill the sacred sword of the wind demon, he also wanted to make this guy suffer endless pain. Chirp! In the sky, the white eagle suddenly raised its head to the sky and cried out. Then everyone clearly felt that all the experts from all over the place had gathered together. This number really wasn't small at all. Clearly, considering the savagery of Ling Xiao's group, the Sora clan was looking for reinforcements. Haha, Ling Xiao, you're really amazing. You've only just arrived at the 10,000 lightning extreme ground, and you've already provoked such a huge monster. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean gave a rare smile. Then he said, how about it? I agreed to let your people be cannon fodder. I can help you deal with them. Although the Sora clan is strong, it's still nothing in this crown prince's eyes. No need. I, Ling Xiao, can't invite a god like you. I'll take care of my own matters. Betraying his friends for him? Ling Xiao had never done such a thing in his life. He wouldn't do it in the future either. He looked coldly at the Sora clan martial artists gathering in the sky. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Since he couldn't hide, then he would kill. It had been a long time since he had a good fight. Are you all in a hurry to reincarnate? Ling Xiao sneered. Good boy, you're really as arrogant as the rumors say. You even dared to kill our Sora clan's young miss. You must be prepared to live a life worse than death, right? The leader was Sora clan member that Ling Xiao had met before. Ling Xiao had killed the Sora clan's young miss in front of him. Haha, it seems that you already know. Then I don't need to say anything more. Ling Xiao smiled. The Sora clan had probably used some method to find out that the martial artist who had killed their young miss was him in disguise. Since that was the case, there was no need to pretend to be innocent. It seemed that today's battle was inevitable. TSK, good boy. You even dared to kill the Sora clan's young miss. And it seems that you don't have the slightest intention of shirking the responsibility. This boy, how much courage does he have? Xiao Budian clicked his tongue and sighed, looking at Ling Xiao with a smile. This guy was really to his liking. You're not going to defend yourself? Sora clan asked. Is there any use in defending yourself? Ling Xiao asked. No. Our Sora clan would rather kill 10,000 by mistake than let one go. As long as you're suspicious, we'll definitely kill you. We'll never let you escape. Sora clan replied. Since that's the case, why are you still talking nonsense? I let you live before and didn't let you accompany your young miss. It seems that you're dissatisfied. Since that's the case, you'll die today. Ling Xiao looked at Sora clan. Facing more and more people, he was not afraid at all. This was because Ling Xiao had observed that although these people were strong, none of them were able to firmly suppress him. Since that was the case, what was there to be afraid of? When he went to the Black Crow Empire and encountered the Blood Demon and Blood Scourge, the situation was much more dangerous than now. Didn't he survive? Chapter 1839. One-on-one. There were one-on-one battles. There were also tactics for group battles. Ling Xiao would definitely not be at a disadvantage. But the Songjing clan did not seem to have any intention of attacking immediately. Ling Xiao frowned slightly, roughly guessing the reason behind this. He was probably waiting for an even stronger cultivator to appear. It was ridiculous. There were at least hundreds of Songjing clan experts in the central camp, but none of them dared to attack him. The dignified Songjing clan had become so cowardly. Most of the Tianhai Empire warriors participating in the White Tiger meet retreated, highlighting the few from the Celestial Empire. They did not want to be the target of attack. On the contrary, many of them were happy to see Ling Xiao killed. Of course, some did not retreat. For example, Sun Lingchan, Mu Wanshuang, Tiny Tot, Lulian, and Ko Xiling did not leave. Sun Lingchan, Lulian, and Ko Xiling were indebted to Ling Xiao, so they did not leave. Mu Wanshuang and Tiny Tot simply did not want to leave. Why should they leave when the Songjing clan came? One of them was one of the 4 heroes of Tianhai, and the other was one of the 13 strongest geniuses. Naturally, they were arrogant. You are the Heavenly Wolf, young master, right? You killed my Songjing clan's warriors just now. You should be ready to receive the wrath of heaven, right? Song Jingmeng looked at the increasing number of people on his side and seemed to have gained confidence. He did not want to fall out with the Heavenly Wolf, young master, and Sun Lingchan. At this moment, he vented all the resentment and anger he had just felt. Are you threatening me? The Heavenly Wolf, young master, did not want to meddle in this matter. After all, he had no friendship with Ling Xiao, and even some grudges. But this stupid and arrogant Songjing Ming dared to threaten him? How could he possibly let this matter rest? The Silver Wolf Princess had always been by the Heavenly Wolf young master's side. Since the Heavenly Wolf young master did not plan to leave, she would not leave either. Very well. I want to see how capable the Songjing clan is to provoke the Yueling Empire and the Tianhai Empire at the same time. The Heavenly Wolf young master's eyes flashed with coldness and mockery. When he came here, he heard that the 4 great families were very arrogant. Today, he saw that they were even more arrogant than the rumors. Others were afraid of provoking the 4 great empires, but they didn't think it was troublesome enough. Brother Ling, it seems that the situation is not good. There are more and more martial artists of the Songjing clan. This is a sign that they have turned out in full force. I reckon that there will be even stronger martial artists arriving later. Why don't you 3 leave first? Their primary target is you. Dan Feng walked up to Ling Xiao and said in a low voice, "Leave." If I leave, don't tell me I'll let you all be cannon fodder?" Ling Xiao shook his head and said, "From the day I established the Celestial Empire, I, Ling Xiao, have always been the vanguard. I have never been afraid of anything. If someone wants me to die, then I can only fight to the end." At worst, he would release the 7 great heavenly demon kings again. It did not matter even if they perished together. In any case, if anyone wanted to make things difficult for him, he would make things difficult for them. Dan Feng knew that he had nothing to persuade, and as Ling Xiao said, the Sora family would not let any of them go. This would turn into a true massacre. They needed a powerful person like Ling Xiao to lead the heroes. "People of the Sora family, you all listen to me. I, Ling Xiao, have never killed the innocent indiscriminately. Your young miss wants to kill me and my friends. Then I can only let her die. Now, you villains complain first, but want to kill us. I won't sit and wait for death. Today you all came to kill me, so you should also be prepared to die." When Ling Xiao's voice fell, suddenly a terrifying killing intent soared into the sky and actually condensed into a heavenly demon. It pounced into the camp in the sky. Killing intent originally could not kill the enemy. It could only scare the enemy, intimidate the enemy. However, when killing intent became a demon, it could kill the enemy. Roar! Terrifying killing intent swept out, turning into a black heavenly demon, enveloping almost the entire battlefield. In that instant, the martial artists of the Sora family were clearly in chaos. Many people hurriedly circulated yin-yang origin power to resist Ling Xiao's terrifying killing intent that turned into a demon. However, the martial artists with low cultivation could not resist this terrifying killing intent. Their bodies were intact, but they had already lost their life force. One by one, they fell from the sky. Just by releasing his murderous aura, he killed more than 10 people in an instant. Not to mention the martial artists of the Sora family. Even the Heavenly Wolf Young Master and Heavenly Ocean Tyranny had to look at this scene in a new light. "Kill for me!" Ling Xiao waved his hand, and the people behind him all soared into the sky, killing the enemy. They had no intention of retreating. "Holy King!" Ling Xiao stood in place, his taiji spinning, and a white figure appeared in the sky. Holy King sang a battle song, and white light enveloped the entire battlefield. The people on his side and his allies who were illuminated by this light all had their battle power soar. Meanwhile, the enemy's battle power was greatly reduced. This was Ling Xiao's greatest advantage in group battles. Then he sneered. A terrifying sword domain formed around his body. 7th light profound, holy sword domain. Kill! In the sky, the power of the red sun poured into the sword domain, making each of Ling Xiao's sword lights like the fire of the sun, blazing, sharp, terrifying. Countless sword lights shot at the enemy, once again causing chaos among the martial artists of the Sora family. At this time, the Heavenly Wolf Young Master also made his move. He transformed into a giant wolf, as if he had entered an uninhabited land. Those martial artists of the Sora family were no match for him at all. He wanted the martial artists of the Sora family to regret. Why did they offend him? Sun Lingchan, Lulian, and Ko Xiling also made their move, killing the martial artists of the Sora family together with Ling Xiao and the others. The martial artists of the Sora family clearly did not expect that Ling Xiao would choose to fight instead of running away under their heavy encirclement, and he did not hesitate to kill. What surprised them the most was that none of the people around Ling Xiao were mediocre. Of course, the most difficult one to deal with was still the Heavenly Wolf Young Master. This guy was simply a killing machine, crazily harvesting the lives of the martial artists of the Sora family. Sora Jingmeng began to regretting why she had dragged this guy along to scold him. Damn it! How could these young people be so powerful? Was the White Tiger continent really going to change? It was a complete mess. The martial artists of the four great empires and Jinny's school came out of the camp one after another and looked up at the battle in the sky. Hee, these people are so anxious. The purgatory blood battle hasn't started yet, but they can't wait to make a move. It makes my hands itch. Fairy Qingqiu, the nine-tailed beautiful fox, looked at the battle in the sky with a smile, obviously treating it as a good show. Hanyue, you're not allowed to go. Jun Macho grabbed Hanyue, who wanted to help. Don't forget Master's warning. Jingyi School can't be enemies with the four great families now. Besides, your big brother is not in danger yet. Chapter 1840. Get out of the way, otherwise I'll attack. A strange fire dragon suddenly appeared above Crimson Moon's body, completely enveloping her. Within this fire dragon, Crimson Moon's strength became incomparably great. Jun Macho was stunned for a moment, unable to catch her, allowing Crimson Moon to break through the sky and join the battle. Heavenly Ocean Tyranny watched the scene in the sky and only smiled coldly. A person who couldn't serve him, no matter how strong, was still a problem, so he was happy to see the current situation. It would be best if those guys from Heavenly Dynasty were all killed. That would be more to his liking. Your Highness, should we attack from the back? Crown Princess asked. Forget it. Although this Crown Prince wants them dead, if we attack our own people in front of so many people, I'm afraid no one will be willing to serve us in the future. Let's wait and see. Heavenly Ocean Tyranny sneered. The Sora family's strength is definitely not like this. They still have stronger experts that haven't appeared yet. Once they appear, these people will definitely die, including that Ling Xiao. When the time comes, you'll have your revenge. Ling Xiao, the enemy's numbers are increasing, and I feel that stronger guys are coming. Don't hold back. Quickly get rid of these guys and then escape. Sun Lingchan approached Ling Xiao and sent a soul message. Escape? Why should we escape? Don't you want to participate in the White Tiger gathering? Ling Xiao glanced at Sun Lingchan. Thank you for your kindness, Miss Sun, but the Sora family offended me. It's hard to say who will be more unlucky and who will be destroyed. Let's not talk so much. Kill. Help me kill a few more people. That'll be helping me. Only Ling Xiao himself knew how terrifying his trump cards were. If he was truly angered, he would make the Sora family disappear from this world. If it weren't for the high price, he would have done it long ago. All right, I can't out-talk you anyway. I'll help you kill a few more people. Sun Lingchan shook her head helplessly. Then her face turned cold, and a flower fairy appeared behind her. The flower fairy carried a basket, beautiful and moving. But if you thought that beauty wasn't terrifying enough, then you were wrong. Flower scattering beauty. As Sun Lingchan's cold voice rang out, the martial spirit behind her scattered a field of flowers. Then screams began to rise and fall. Any cultivator who was touched by these petals would be poisoned to death on the spot, but their own people would be full of vigor. Their battle prowess greatly increased, together with the effects of the Holy King. This made the situation of the warriors of the Songjing family even more difficult. What a terrifying martial spirit! It can attack and defend. No wonder he can become one of the four prodigies of Tianhai. Ling Xiao glanced at Sun Lingchan and couldn't help but secretly praise. This girl was worthy of being the daughter of Medicine King Sun Sa. She was really incomparably powerful. The Aoi family was really unlucky to provoke her. With just one move, dozens of warriors of the Songjing family were killed. No matter how many warriors there were in the Songjing family, if they continued to die like this, they would all die. Looks like you're the key. Let's see if they can continue after killing you. Taking advantage of the chaos, Cang Jingmeng suddenly approached Ling Xiao and threw a punch at his back. He wanted to kill Ling Xiao on the spot. Ling Xiao's expression didn't change. He turned around and threw a punch. There was nothing fancy about it. It was just a solid punch. However, this punch contained the power of 1,200 Royal Heaven Queen of Earth cells. Boom! The terrifying power collided in the void. Song Jing-meng felt a terrifying power coming from the front. He tried his best to block it, but the power was too strong. It sent him flying. Kill! In a flash, Ling Xiao turned into a dark shadow and arrived in front of Song Jingmeng in an instant. As a 14th level yin-yang martial artist, you actually learned how to sneak attack. Since you want to die, I'll send you to your death. Boom! Another punch sounded like thunder. Poor Song Jingmeng didn't understand what kind of terrifying opponent he encountered before his body was penetrated by this punch. Then, terrifying flames burned his entire body. His corpse turned into ashes in an instant. Ha ha ha, satisfying. I didn't expect someone to come to the land of myriad lightning to die. Are you afraid that I'll be too lonely? Ling Xiao laughed loudly, feeling extremely carefree in his heart. When did this guy become so terrifying? That Song Jingmeng should be a 14th level yin-yang martial artist, right? He couldn't even take 2 moves from him and was defeated? The martial artists of the Tianhai Empire had some understanding of Ling Xiao. They thought that it was just an accident when they saw Ling Xiao injure the sacred Sword of Wind Demon. However, when they saw Ling Xiao kill Song Jingmeng so easily, they were dumbfounded. If this evil isn't eliminated, the world won't be at peace. I suddenly understand how Phoenix Cry Chi Shan felt. Tianhai Tyranny looked at Ling Xiao coldly. His eyes were filled with violent killing intent. Back then, Feng Mingqishan had reported to him that Ling Xiao had to be eliminated. However, he didn't take Ling Xiao seriously at that time. He thought that Phoenix Cry Chi Shan was overthinking things. Moreover, he wanted to use Ling Xiao to help Phoenix Cry Chi Shan get rid of the dissidents. However, he didn't expect that what happened next would greatly exceed his expectations. Phoenix Cry Chi Shan was actually killed by this kid. Now, it seemed that history was going to repeat itself. Tianhai Tyranny would definitely not allow such a thing to happen. Therefore, as long as the opportunity was right, he would definitely kill Ling Xiao. He wouldn't let this seed continue to grow. In the distance, powerful auras were getting closer and closer. Ling Xiao could feel that the people coming were very strong. The strongest person might even be at the 18th level of Yin-Yang realm. That was 6 cultivation realms higher than him. It was impossible for him to win. However, he still had no intention of retreating. In any case, there was only one such expert. He was confident that he could kill him. Although his methods might not be normal, as long as he could win, it was fine. Who cared so much? Push away. It's our turn. Suddenly, a voice exploded in the sky. A 15th level Yin-Yang realm expert. Ling Xiao was shocked. Although he wasn't afraid of such an expert, his friends wouldn't be able to stop him. Sun Lingchan, help me kill that 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. I'll refine pills for you for a day for free. Ling Xiao said loudly. He could also kill this guy, but he didn't want to reveal his trump card so quickly in front of everyone. Anyway, Sun Lingchan was here. It would be a waste not to use her. No problem. Sun Lingchan chuckled, and then suddenly charged towards the expert, who was rushing over. There were a total of 3 people. One was at the 15th level of Yin-Yang realm, while the other 2 were at the 14th level of Yin-Yang realm. Sun Lingchan charged towards the 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. She floated in the air like a flower petal. Her posture was very graceful. The 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist couldn't see Sun Lingchan's strength at all. In his rage, he circulated his Yin-Yang energy and punched out with both fists. Chapter 1841. Those who stand in my way shall die. The 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist roared and charged toward Sun Lingchan. However, his voice stopped abruptly. Sun Lingchan suddenly opened her mouth, and a silver needle pierced through the air. It did not seem very powerful, but its power was extremely shocking. The silver needle pierced through the martial artist's glabella. The martial artist was instantly paralyzed and fell to the ground. His vitality had been cut off. It was such an easy attack. Sun Lingchan was that powerful. "Girl, what's your name?" Heavenly Wolf, young master, suddenly asked. Sun Lingchan. "So that's how it is. You are Medicine King's son, Saw's daughter. No wonder you are so powerful. It seems that you have the ability, close to the 13 of us. However, you exposed your trump card so quickly. The first Purgatory blood battle won't be easy." Heavenly Wolf, young master, stood in the air and did not move. However, wolf shadows kept darting out from his body and continued to slaughter the Songjing clan martial artists. "Thank you for your concern, Heavenly Wolf, young master. However, I believe that I can only improve by pushing out my potential." Sun Lingchan was not afraid of revealing her trump card because she was like Ling Xiao. She had more than one trump card. Ling Xiao had never doubted Sun Lingchan's ability. Hence, he only glanced at the 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist and focused on his own battle. He had to face two martial artists at the 14th level of the Yin-Yang realm. "It's time to show off," Ling Xiao sneered. He waved his hand and the divine light sword appeared in his hand. Immediately, the crimson sun energy in the sky poured into the divine light sword. The divine light sword shone with a dazzling light. Divine light sword, first change, rising sun change. The crimson sun 9 change had a total of 9 changes. Every change would increase the power of the divine light sword greatly. However, Ling Xiao's ability had skyrocketed. He only needed to use the first change to deal with a 14th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. "Boy, you're too arrogant. How dare you fight the two of us head-on? You're asking for death." The two 14th level Yin-Yang realm martial artists each held a long spear in their hands. The Yin-Yang origin energy on the long spears condensed to the point of explosion. The terrifying energy continued to leak out and actually condensed into an origin energy long spear that was more than 10 meters long. This spear was formed by the joint efforts of the two of them, so it was not afraid of Ling Xiao at all, and directly pierced towards him. Good timing. Ling Xiao did not have the slightest intention of dodging this brazen attack. The divine radiance sword in his hand pierced forward, and the red sun behind him shone with a dazzling light. The power of the red sun in the sky seemed to be attracted by the rising sun, constantly pouring into it, causing the power of the divine light sword in Ling Xiao's hand to increase greatly. Gold on the outside, but rotten on the inside. What's the use of these fancy moves? The warriors of the Sora family were not frightened by Ling Xiao's gorgeous moves. In their opinion, Ling Xiao was merely at the 7th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Even if he could absorb the crimson sun essence and strengthen the origin energy sword in his hand, it was impossible for him to fight against the two of them. There was absolutely no suspense in this collision. Boom! The collision occurred at some point. Two terrifying forces collided in the sky. Then a towering flame erupted, transforming into a fire dragon that devoured the spear formed by the origin energy. What's going on? The two 14th level Yin-Yang realm warriors sensed that something was amiss, but it was too late. The fire dragon destroyed the origin energy spear. The divine radiance sword pierced downwards, and it actually killed two enemies with one strike. The two 14th level Yin-Yang realm warriors were killed on the spot by Ling Xiao's attack, and their bodies were not intact. They did not even have the chance to scream. This scene was even more shocking than when Sun Lingchan killed the 15th level Yin-Yang realm warrior. Ling Xiao stood there, and the hidden energy in his body seemed to have been stimulated by the battle. His aura was increasing at an accelerated rate. My cultivation seems to be breaking through again. This was the reason why Ling Xiao loved to battle. Every battle would bring him great benefits, and the energy stored in the blood-soul talisman would be stimulated. At this moment, Ling Xiao was bathed in the sunlight, and his entire body was dazzling. He was like the sun god. The energy in his body continued to be released, and his aura was increasing at an accelerated rate. Kill him. Kill him quickly. Don't let him break through. The Songjing clan warriors were not idiots. They saw Ling Xiao suddenly standing there without moving, and his aura was continuously increasing. They naturally guessed that Ling Xiao was about to break through. This kid was already so difficult to deal with. Once he broke through, it would be even more troublesome. Therefore, dozens of people suddenly charged towards Ling Xiao in an attempt to stop Ling Xiao from breaking through. However, a few more opponents appeared in front of them very quickly. Dan Feng, Cold Plum, Long Chen, and the others stopped these people. Of course, they would not allow these people to disturb Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had helped them so many times. At this crucial moment, it was their turn to help Ling Xiao. This guy is even more difficult to deal with than I thought. The crown princess's face darkened. She stepped forward, wanting to attack Ling Xiao from behind and kill him. You don't need to personally kill him. Tyranny Heavenly Seas smiled and then waved his hand. In the darkness, a demon crocodile guard moved out. Demon crocodile guards had no obvious symbol. They hovered around Tyranny Heavenly Seas like ghosts, protecting Tyranny Heavenly Seas. Tyranny Heavenly Seas orders were like imperial edicts. Careful! A cry of alarm came from the crowd. This voice actually came from Jun Macho. In the past, Jun Macho and Ling Xiao had met in Sky Sea City's underworld. She, who was overbearing, had been thoroughly taught a lesson there. That was how she had made such a huge breakthrough. If it were some other people, they might not think of Ling Xiao's kindness. Instead, they might think of taking revenge on Ling Xiao. However, Jun Macho clearly wasn't that kind of person. On the contrary, she had always been grateful for Ling Xiao's help. Although it was only help from an objective point of view, it was extremely important to her. The demon crocodile guard was extremely fast, and it emitted a sinister aura. If it were anyone else, it would be very difficult to tell where this aura came from. However, Ling Xiao was all too familiar with this aura. He didn't move to defend. He didn't even turn his head. He let the demon crocodile guard's sharp dagger stab into his body. Clang! This stab actually made a sound as if it had stabbed into a steel plate. The demon crocodile guard was stunned for a moment. Just as it was about to retreat and flee, a shadow flew up from Ling Xiao's feet and stabbed into its heart. The demon crocodile guard's body turned into a cloud of black mist and dispersed. Heavenly demon? Ling Xiao could feel the shadow child stabbing into the enemy's body. Without a doubt, this was the power of a heavenly demon. He finally turned his head to glance at Tyranny Heavenly Seas. As far as he knew, on the White Tiger continent, the only martial artist who raised heavenly demons was Tyranny Heavenly Seas. Chapter 1842. Had Heavenly Ocean, Tyranny, finally decided to make a move against him? That's good too. I, Ling Xiao, will absorb the power of the heavenly demon and help me break through. He closed his eyes again. The power of the heavenly demon entered his meridians and slammed into the shackles of his cultivation. Boom! The sound of something shattering rang in Ling Xiao's mind. He could feel that his cultivation had broken through. Once he broke through, he couldn't seem to stop. Mid-12th tier, late 12th tier, peak 12th tier. It's a pity that the pressure isn't great enough. I still need to fight. Ling Xiao opened his eyes and looked at the warriors of the Songjing family in the sky. The corners of his mouth curled into a sneer. No matter how many of you come today, I'll kill all of you until you admit defeat." The expression on his face became ferocious, like that of a demon. Then the golden light on his body disappeared and was replaced by a pitch-black aura. Evil, horrifying, sinister. He killed his way into the enemy's formation like a ghost. Wherever he went, no Songjing family martial artist survived. The strongest martial artist guarding here was only at the 13th tier of Yin Yang realm. The weakest was at the 10th tier of Yin Yang realm. These martial artists were simply targets for him, Ling Xiao, to practice his skills. In the distance, another powerful aura came flying over. Another 15th tier Yin Yang realm martial artist. The Songjing family is really something. They sent a 15th tier Yin Yang realm martial artist to his death. So casually? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He gave up on the weak ones and prepared to kill this big fish. However, at this moment, Mu Wanchuang attacked. "It's too boring to wait. I'll join in too." The reason why she attacked was because Sun Lingchan had stolen the limelight. She felt a little uncomfortable. Moreover, Fan Ruohai had told her to befriend Ling Xiao. This was a great opportunity. Mu Wanchuang's body turned into a ray of light and a long sword appeared in her hand. The sword blade cut through the air as if it was cutting through cloth and charged towards the expert, who had just arrived. The 15th level Yin Yang realm powerhouse had rushed over to take credit, but he would never have imagined that the first thing he would do when he arrived was face to face with the threat of death. "There's no road ahead." Mu Wanchuang appeared in front of the expert and said coldly. Then, the shadow of her sword flashed. That 15th level Yin Yang realm expert was torn into pieces by the sword light before he could even see the enemy he wanted to kill. How terrifying! Mu Wanchuang and Sun Lingchan. These two women are probably the closest to those 13 top geniuses, right? When the crowd saw this scene, they were all amazed. "Thanks a lot, but you stole my kill." Ling Xiao was a little depressed. He had wanted to have a showdown with this 15th level Yin Yang realm expert. He had not expected Mu Wanchuang to beat him to it. Of course, even though they had stolen his kill, they were still helping him, so he still had to thank them. However, the remaining Songjing clan martial artists were doomed. Ling Xiao was going to vent his anger on them. "All of you don't attack. They're all mine." Ling Xiao floated in midair. The black aura around him was getting thicker, as if his entire body had been invaded by an evil aura. However, those who were familiar with him knew that he was still him. Even though his aura was evil, his eyes were still clear and bright. Run. Smart people can always foresee danger. Among the 300 over Songjing clan martial artists, there were naturally smart people. When he felt Ling Xiao's terrifying aura, he roared and took the lead to run away. "You guys should be honored to die in my hands and become the key to my breakthrough." 12 Shadow Esoteric Skill, Dark Prison. Ling Xiao threw out a black ball from his hand. The black ball instantly became huge and formed a whirlpool. It swallowed all the 300 over Songjing clan martial artists. Dark Prison could not only absorb energy, but it could also absorb anything. However, when it absorbed a physical body, it could only trap the enemy and not kill them. However, as long as these people were trapped, Ling Xiao had countless ways to kill them. Don't be afraid. Everyone, work together to break this dark prison. He's alone. His origin energy is definitely inferior to ours. Although the trapped Songjing clan martial artists were a little confused, there were still people who stood out and called for an attack. Yes, more than 300 people bombarded the dark prison together, causing it to constantly distort and deform. It looked like it was about to collapse. Smart people, it's a pity that you won't have the chance. Ling Xiao smiled. A blood soul talisman floated above his head. 18 hell talisman, frying hell. Kill. After the blood soul talisman was activated, a golden liquid poured out from the talisman. When the liquid poured into the dark prison, Shrill screams were immediately heard. That was scalding hot oil. The terrifying heat could cook a person's body in an instant. Many people did not even have the time to scream before their bodies stiffened. Then their aura of life disappeared instantly. Only yin-yang origin energy was released from their bodies and integrated into the 18 hell talismans. I feel it. Ling Xiao could feel that the shackles of his cultivation were once again shaken by the impact. Breaking through from the early stage of yin-yang realm to the peak of yin-yang realm was nothing. Although there was an increase in strength, the increase was not obvious. Only when one's cultivation broke through from yin-yang realm 12 to yin-yang realm 13 would there be a real qualitative change. Break for me! Ling Xiao roared angrily. The energy in his body kept colliding. He could feel that he was about to break through, but he was just a little bit away. He could not break through. It looks like these people are still too weak. Ling Xiao sighed softly and released the dark prison. The ground was filled with fried corpses. It was a horrifying scene. Is he really going to kill them all? Many people were stunned. The Songjing clan came aggressively and left hundreds of corpses behind. However, they did not hurt Ling Xiao at all. If this spread out, the Songjing clan would not be able to raise their heads here anymore. However, the mystic world was a world where the strong preyed on the weak. If Ling Xiao was strong enough, he would be able to make the Songjing clan admit defeat. Moreover, this matter was the Songjing clan's fault. They should not be the ones looking for trouble with him. He should be the one looking for trouble with the Songjing clan. I'm going to the Songjing clan to seek justice. Who dares to come with me? Ling Xiao said loudly. Me. The people from the Heavenly Empire had nothing to hesitate about. They definitely supported Ling Xiao. Lu Lian and Ko Xiling also responded. The two of them naturally did not want to fall behind. Chapter 1843. Are you sure you want to go to the Sora clan? The clan leader of the Sora clan is probably a rebirth state expert. Are you sure you're not afraid? Sun Lingchan asked with a frown. She felt that Ling Xiao was getting carried away. So what if I'm not afraid? Will they let me go if I don't go to the Sora clan? Ling Xiao smiled disdainfully. A rebirth state expert is indeed very strong. Far stronger than a yin-yang state expert. But he's not invincible. Did he have something to rely on? Sun Lingchan did not dare to underestimate Ling Xiao. After hearing Ling Xiao's words, she concluded that Ling Xiao must have something to rely on and was not afraid of a rebirth state expert. In that case, what was there for her to be afraid of? Count me in. Sun Lingchan said. How can I miss out on such a fun thing? Little Munchkin seemed eager to try. I'll go too. Mu Wanshuang would definitely not want to be left behind since Sun Lingchan was going. For a moment, all the warriors who had fought wanted to go to the Sora clan with Ling Xiao. As for the others, they also wanted to go and watch the show. Let's go. Ling Xiao unfolded a pair of wings on his back and turned into a black ray of light as he pounced in the direction of the Sora clan. He had been holding back and was unwilling to expose his trump card. However, if he continued to hold back, he would not even be able to participate in the white tiger meet. This was the cruel reality. Therefore, even if he had to expose his trump card, he could not hold back. If the Sora clan refused to admit defeat, he could only destroy them. This was Ling Xiao's style, the style of the Celestial Emperor. The Sora clan was originally chasing after Ling Xiao, but now it was Ling Xiao who was hunting down the Sora clan. A group of people charged toward the Sora clan's lair, the Sora temple. Who is it? How dare you trespass into the Sora temple? Are you tired of living? There were 2 guards at the entrance of the Sora temple. It was not very strict. However, the 2 guards were powerful. They were both 14th level yin-yang state experts. A warrior of this level was actually used as a guard. It was enough to show that the Sora family had a deep background. Kill! Ling Xiao and Sun Lingchan, one on the left and one on the right, simultaneously attacked the two guards. They were here to cause trouble, so they naturally wouldn't be polite. The two guards had been guarding the gate of the Songjing Temple for decades, and no one had ever dared to trespass. It was even more unlikely that anyone would dare to attack them. Even the martial artists of the Jingyi school were respectful to them. However, the situation today was very different. Two young martial artists were actually about to attack them. The two of them sneered. It seemed that after not fighting for a long time, people had forgotten how terrifying the two of them were. 10 years ago, at the same White Tiger meet, there were also two young geniuses who thought they were extraordinary who had provoked them. In the end, they were killed in front of everyone. Those two people were martial artists from the Jingyi school, but they still did not give them face. Today, the two of them had come to seek death again. Thinking up to this point, they aimed the spears in their hands at the newcomer. Then they injected all of their yin-yang yuan qi and stabbed out at the same time. In the void, there was the sound of an explosion. The spears that the two of them stabbed out formed a thunderous explosion, which was enough to kill everything that came close. However, it was at that moment. The two of them saw the shadow of death almost at the same time, and a strong fear arose in their bodies. When they realized that they might not be able to escape this time, both of their heads fell to the ground. Sun Lingchan's saber was as thin as a cicada's wing, but it was very sharp. Ling Xiao's sword was cold and awe-inspiring, making people shudder. With one blow, there was no suspense. The two guards fell to the ground and died on the spot. These two guys are really crazy. They actually dared to kill their way into the headquarters of the Songjing family. They clearly don't take the Songjing family seriously. Even the top 13 geniuses were stunned by the actions of Ling Xiao and Sun Lingchan, because even they didn't dare to do so. The Heavenly Wolf young master might dare to kill the martial artists of the Songjing family outside, but he really didn't dare to kill his way into the Songjing family. They're having fun killing now. In a while, the two of them will die miserably. Oh, right, there are also those guys who are fooling around with them. Someone laughed, taking pleasure in their misfortune. Perhaps it was because Ling Xiao and Sun Lingchan had stolen their limelight, but they couldn't wait for the two of them to die. Kill! Ling Xiao stabbed out with his sword, and the door of the Songjing temple was directly shattered. Then, under his and Sun Lingchan's lead, everyone killed their way into the Songjing family. Let's go watch the show. Tyranny Heavenly Ocean smiled, rose into the air, and followed. The others followed. Most of them just wanted to see how Ling Xiao died. None of them thought that Ling Xiao could really destroy the Songjing family. In the Songjing temple, someone was preparing to go out and kill Ling Xiao. Seeing someone kill their way in, they were also shocked. Where are you from? Ling Xiao, the person you're looking for. Ling Xiao stood in front of everyone, looking at the Songjing family martial artists with an extremely domineering aura. What? How can you be Ling Xiao? Where are the people who captured you? The leader of the Songjing family martial artists asked in horror. Dead. Ling Xiao said casually, I'll give you a chance now. Immediately announce that you're leaving the Songjing family and get out of the Songjing temple. Then you can keep your lives. Otherwise, I'll kill you without mercy. Ha 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 ha. Idiot, you think that by avoiding the pursuit of others and sneaking here, you can make us believe what you say. The leading cultivator laughed heartily, clearly not believing Ling Xiao's words at all. With Ling Xiao's strength, how could he kill everyone else? He must be bragging. Whether you believe it or not, what's the point? Kill. Ling Xiao could also see that this group of Songjing family martial artists was very loyal to the Songjing family. He wanted them to betray the Songjing family, unless he posed a greater threat to them. He waved his hand, and Dan Feng Longqin and the others behind him charged out. Most of the Songjing family's experts had been sent out to kill Ling Xiao. Most of the remaining experts were below the 11th level of Yin-Yang realm. They were no match for Dan Feng and the others. To Dan Feng and the others, this battle could be considered as a form of training. In the sky, a white eagle soared through the air. Ling Xiao could not help but frown. He did not expect the Songjing family's experts to react so quickly. They had already rushed back. Although there was only one, this person's cultivation was at the 15th level of Yin-Yang realm. Sun Lingchan, Mu Wanchuang, don't attack. He's mine. Ling Xiao was only one step away from breaking through to the 13th level of Yin-Yang realm. He needed a strong opponent to stimulate his potential. This 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist was just right. After saying that, he leaped into the air and blasted towards that person. Chapter 1844. The 15th level Yin-Yang realm expert in the sky was shocked. He thought that with his strength, Ling Xiao would not dare to face him head-on. Who knew that not only did Ling Xiao not dodge, but he even charged at him. Fine, I'll kill you. Let's see if they still dare to mess around. That person snorted. A large saber appeared in his hand, and he slashed down. The terrifying saber aura seemed to tear the sky apart. It was extremely shocking. On the ground, many warriors could feel the terrifying chill of this saber strike. Is Ling Xiao courting death? Yes, with his strength, he shouldn't be showing off. It's more suitable to let Sun Lingchan or Mu Wanchuang deal with that person. That might not be the case. A black figure appeared in the crowd. He held a wine jug in his hand and drank with a smile. As soon as this person finished speaking, the terrifying saber aura and sword aura collided in the sky. A figure suddenly appeared behind Ling Xiao. This person was dressed in blood-red armor. His hair was messy and draped behind his back. His murderous aura shocked countless geniuses participating in the white tiger meet. Killing God, White Blade. Tianhai Tyranny squinted his eyes. This death god's white blade martial spirit was the martial spirit that he had always wanted to obtain from Phoenix Cry Chishan. He did not expect that Ling Xiao would actually obtain it. The blood-red figure flashed. The murderous aura of the dark demonic sword in Ling Xiao's hand grew stronger. Crack! After a while, the saber aura collapsed. Even the saber in the 15th level Yin-Yang realm expert's hand cracked. Impossible. Go to hell. That person roared and released his Yin-Yang origin energy. A figure also appeared behind him. It was the ancestor of the Songjing family, one of the human immortals who betrayed the human king. Songjing, ancestral soul. This was the martial soul of most martial artists in the Songjing family. It was just that some were stronger and some were weaker. When the martial soul appeared, it saw the killing god White Blade and developed a terrifying consciousness. Then it unleashed its power crazily. A terrifying power shot towards Ling Xiao from the cracked saber. Not only was Ling Xiao not alarmed, but he also revealed a look of pleasant surprise. He allowed the saber chi to slash at him. Awesome. When the terrifying saber chi chopped down, Ling Xiao's body only had an additional layer of white marks. There wasn't even a trace of blood. However, when the terrifying saber chi seeped into Ling Xiao's body, it helped Ling Xiao tear apart the 13th tier Yin-Yang realm ceiling door. Crack! Ling Xiao could feel that something inside his body had broken open. His strength suddenly increased explosively. However, he still hid this strength. He did not need to use his cultivation base at the 13th level of the Yin-Yang realm to deal with a mere 15th level Yin-Yang realm martial artist. Ha 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 ha, thank you for this strike. I'll give you a quick death. Ling Xiao didn't care about the wound on his body at all. The dark demon sword in his hand quickly accumulated a terrifying aura as he aimed it at the martial artist in the sky. How dare you! Stop! A terrifying voice came from a very far place like rolling thunder. Ling Xiao frowned slightly, but he was shocked. This person's breath was long, and his voice was loud like a bell. Judging from his aura, his cultivation base should be around the 18th level of Yin-Yang realm. He was no match for him. Looks like the true experts of the Sora clan have finally returned. However, it's too late. Ling Xiao would never show mercy to those who wanted to kill him. Similarly, he would not show mercy to his own people. Ha ha ha, boy, you're dead. The warriors of the Sora clan have returned. You don't have a chance anymore. Even if you want to escape now, it's impossible. The 15th level Yin-Yang realm expert laughed wantonly in the sky. At the same time, he sped up and fled in the direction of the voice. Haha, it doesn't matter if I die or not. You won't be able to see it. Ling Xiao smiled disdainfully. The dark demon sword in his hand had already accumulated a terrifying power. The sky was filled with killing sword essence. Terrifying killing intent. Dark and sinister aura. Dark demon sword, body annihilation. At that moment, Ling Xiao's sword finally stabbed out slowly. A huge pitch-black sword chi gushed out from the dark demon sword. It was like a bolt of black lightning that stabbed towards the martial artist in the sky. When the martial artist saw this, his eyes were filled with fear and despair. No. He only had time to let out a blood-curdling scream before his body was pierced through by the terrifying black sword chi. His body, along with the white eagle beneath him, was shattered into pieces. The destructive power of the sword chi was shocking. Bastard, you're courting death. The thunderous voice was heard again. Ling Xiao saw a huge palm print flying towards him from the sky. The palm print covered the sky and stirred up a raging wind. It was terrifying. You're too confident in your attack from such a distance. Break. Ling Xiao knew that his opponent was powerful. However, the attack would be greatly reduced from such a long distance. He casually swung the dark demon sword and stabbed at the huge palm print. Chi. The sword chi pierced through the air and shattered the palm print. Then it disappeared. However, Ling Xiao immediately retreated. He was on high alert as he stared at the group of people in the distance. This group of people came very quickly. Their cultivation levels were also very high. Among them, the one with the lowest cultivation level was at the 14th level of the Yin-Yang realm. There were dozens of martial artists at the 15th level of the Yin-Yang realm. There were even 7 or 8 martial artists at the 16th level of the Yin-Yang realm. There were also 2 or 3 martial artists at the 17th level of the Yin-Yang realm. This was probably the most powerful force in the Sora clan. With such a scale, it was no wonder that the Sora clan dared to offend any martial artist. Of course, the martial artist who attacked earlier was more terrifying than the rest. He was at the 18th level of the Yin-Yang realm and looked less than 40 years old. Although he couldn't participate in the White Tiger meet, he was definitely a genius martial artist. He must have been one of the most outstanding martial artists in the last White Tiger meet 10 years ago. With such a powerful lineup, other than the clan leader of the Sora clan, everyone else should have shown up. It seemed that the woman Ling Xiao killed was really a very important person in the Sora clan. Otherwise, the Sora clan wouldn't be so crazy as to send such a powerful lineup. The middle-aged man looked at the corpses on the ground in the Sora clan. His expression was as dark as the water in hell. Then he stared coldly at Ling Xiao and said, "You're the leader?" "That's right." Ling Xiao nodded. "Good, very good. Since the establishment of the Sora Shrine, no one has ever dared to barge in and kill our people. You've got guts." He then looked at the people behind Ling Xiao and said, "You've got guts too. However, having guts doesn't mean you're brave. You'll taste the cruelest punishment in the Sora clan. You'll be tortured until you'll wish you were dead." His eyes were filled with intense hatred. The woman who was killed was the Sora clan's young miss, his fiancée. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.